Jesse on a Friday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 201, your time check is brought to you by Collection Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. We have a new Gridiron Guys podcast that Carey and I recorded.
Yes.
And one of the conversations, one of the topics of conversation was which preseason contender in the NFL is already in some trouble. And Carey put his hand up and he goes, are we allowed to talk about last night's game? Because the Dolphins now seem to be in some trouble.
A world of hurt.
All seriousness, I hope that Tua Tagovailoa, who just suffered another concussion, I believe this is his fourth now in the last
I think it's
3 years, third. And
Well, there was an extra one that I didn't know about, I guess, in week 16 or 17.
He got
2
it,
years,
but then somehow
2 years
they
ago.
didn't think he had
That was
one.
the first one.
It was weird.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know, man.
So Tua basically had to prove to the Dolphins and everyone himself last year that he could stay healthy. He did. He led the league in passing. The Dolphins were one of the exciting teams. We've talked about it a lot. You know, take them in the first half, fade them in the second, because that's not a team that's going to be built to win in the playoffs. But nonetheless, they're a fun team to watch. Last night, nothing fun about it. Not a good game. They got a Buffalo Bills problem, do the Dolphins, and now unfortunately they have another concussion issue with Tua. Carey, you had said in the podcast, and I think what you had noted really hit home in that it wasn't a severe hit.
Yeah.
Last night, he ran basically into Hamlin's arm,
So, okay.
but he kind of crunched up a little bit, and that was it.
Let's isolate that for a second. He runs headfirst into DeMar Hamlin's arm/chest area.
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Right, with those two
These
guys.
two guys?
Right.
Yeah. Like, what?
Good call.
And then,
Like,
then Tua goes down and he's got the fencing fingers going.
Yeah.
I was like, as soon as I saw the arm come up, I'm like, he's out.
My heart dropped. It
That was
really
awful.
did. I mean, just watching this
My heart
with
dropped
him.
watching that hit with both of those guys.
Yeah.
When I saw the replay after, I was like, oh my.
Man.
It's Jamie, we were talking about this a couple of days ago in the office about concussions and helmets and how they do all the guardian caps that they wear, and I was explaining that, you know, the cap is nice. It's supposed to disperse some of the impact, and so you don't feel, I guess, as much of the impact, but your brain is what's moving inside of your skull.
Yeah.
You don't have
there's nothing to prevent
you
it
don't have a harness
sliding
on your
right.
brain.
It's sliding and hitting the skull. That's what's causing the concussions. And the moment you start having concussions, you're more, apt to having more. Like you're more likely to get more and more. And Tua is in the place now where, again, that wasn't a hard hit. Like, that's a normal tackle. That was a forearm or bicep to the side of his head, and his head kind of collapsed into his shoulder, and that impact is what caused the concussion. And for me, it's worrisome because you start to be concerned about, football is fine. We'll do this every day. People love the game. As a player, you love the game, but how are you after the game when it's all over? Concussions are why Troy Aikman had to retire. Steve Young was a person that had multiple concussions. And so, you start to worry about the future, what that looks like for a player. If I know anything about football players, and Tua is definitely that, he's going to try to play next week. Because that's what we do. Like, we understand the risks, and I think players now are even more advanced in understanding the risk. Like, when I was playing, you only had a concussion if you went to sleep. Like, if your arms went up and your fingers, twisted, like, that was a concussion.
When I was playing, you only had a concussion if you admitted it.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, that's basically the NFL too.
Yeah.
But we didn't know that every time your mind state was altered, that's a concussion. So it's unfortunate for him. It's unfortunate for the Dolphins. They are a team that, again, I had thought would be a team to be able to. That yesterday was a sloppy game. I don't know what the hell they had going on with the field. The field looked terrible. People were slipping and sliding all over the place. And then you get the concussion for Tua, which, that just puts a damper on everything you're trying to do in the beginning.
So the best way to explain this to some of our listeners, Carey did a great job, is people don't realize that the brain has just got the jelly around it, and it kind of floats on its own. And every time there's an impact at all, the brain bangs against the skull, either forward, backwards, or sideways. And so contact sports like football and hockey, rugby, and those are all very particularly dangerous because you can get hit from all different directions. So it's not like you can just kind of pad one area because, I'm just going to go forward. No, you might get blindsided from the side. You might get hit from behind, all that stuff. And once you have the concussions and they become more regular, it's because your brain is not healing.
Correct.
Okay? So it's like a boxer or an MMA fighter. When you watch them, they're unbeatable. They're taking 30, 40, 50 punches to the face, no problem. But 3 years down the road, every time they're fighting, they're getting knocked out. All of a sudden, they go from having a cinder block for a head to a glass jaw. That's because the brain has been hit so many times that it can no longer prevent itself from being concussed. And that's how fighters, their careers end and whatnot. That's how football players, their careers end, hockey players, all that stuff. So when Tua, who's had so many now, it's just going to get easier every time to have a concussion, which is kind of scary at the same time. But now, like Carey said, the athlete is wired differently. And I joke, but I remember I don't really remember. I remember being told that, I had a concussion. I remember one game when I was playing for the Islanders, I get hit from behind, my head into the glass. Didn't leave the game, whatever. But when I came to, I was sitting in my living room in my apartment in New York City. Yeah. And my ex-wife was like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "How'd we get home?"
When did I get here?
No, I go, "How'd we get home?"
Yeah.
She goes, "You drove." I go, "Where were we?" She goes, "You had a game." I go, "Did we win?" She's like, "No, you guys lost because we sucked." But I remember at that moment going, I played 2 full periods of hockey, drove home, and then my brain kind of woke up when I'm sitting there. But what did I do? I was at practice the next morning.
Yeah.
Not the right thing to do, but this is where coaches, trainers, doctors, the player himself, got to educate yourself and take the appropriate time, whether it's a week, a month, a year, who knows?
Yeah, it's like autopilot. It's being on autopilot. Literally, you can, because you're so, your plays, exactly what to do. You no longer have to, it's just your body doing the things that you normally do. You do this every single day. You don't have to. I used to call plays out in my sleep. I would literally call the play out and start doing the movement because I knew, it's just muscle memory. I know exactly where to be when a play is called, but I have done the same thing, been on autopilot, not knowing that I'm on autopilot, but I'm going through and doing everything that I've been doing because it's what you know. And again, it's not always the best thing. It's not the best thing, but Tua will try to come back and play next week or the following week. We love the sports that we play, and we understand that that's a potential consequence of playing this sport, playing this game. But at the end of the day, you want to play and be successful at it, and Tua is no different. So I'm sure he'll want to get back out there, get right back on the horse, and get back to it.
So the hard part with the concussions is once you no longer show symptoms, it's like you're 100% healthy.
Right.
Because, why can't I play? I'm fine. I don't feel lightheaded. I don't have headaches. The light's not bothering me.
Yep.
My balance is good. I can practice. I did cardio, did a full workout, didn't get lightheaded, nothing so you're 100% fine. So it's very difficult for the medical people to say, no, you can't go.
Yeah.
And because the player then's like, yeah, bull spit.
Right.
Have you seen my contract? Look what they're paying me, and this team needs me. Have you seen my backup quarterback? I'm playing.
Yeah.
And there's really nothing you can do to stop him until the next one happens. And then once you get to a certain threshold, though, the doctors, his family, and people are going to probably have to sit him down and talk to him. Like I said, whether that's career ending or it's the year off or it's whatever, it's a weird injury to get. It's something that it's the unknown, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It can either knock you out cold, like Carey said, and you're laying there limp, or sometimes all you have to do is get jarred. And you're still kind of out, but you're walking around, you're fine. Like you said, on autopilot, you're fine. So all your motor skills are fine, but, maybe you can't even spell your name at that point, but nobody can tell. Yeah. So it's weird.
So from a football standpoint, let's just state the obvious. The Dolphins are in a lot of trouble here. Skylar Thompson stepped in last night, and I realized that he's coming in cold. He's coming to a game that his team was being dominated. But we've seen Skylar Thompson have to play before, too. It hadn't been pretty. So this Dolphins team goes from, at the very least, a legit wild card contender to one now that's got, and I'm not trying to minimize Tua's situation, but if we just separate it and just talk about football, since we're a sports show, you're no longer a playoff threat. And you look at the Bills on the other side, depending on how long Tua's out for, obviously. You look on the other side, and Buffalo, for 2.5 quarters last week, you thought, okay, a lot of the offseason issues are seemingly legit. Instead, they came back in that one. Last night, they looked great defensively. Tua made some really bad mistakes before he suffered the concussion, but the Bills look strong defensively. Josh Allen, James Cook, that whole offense, they're spreading the ball around more. You don't really know. Like last week, it wasn't a Dalton Kincaid game. Last night, it was more of a Dalton Kincaid. Like they have more ways to beat you now than just, hey, Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, get open. If you're not, I'll run around. I think the Bills might have a more. They're not explosive. They're not more explosive, but I think that the Bills defensively or offensively are more efficient.
So when I watched the game, to me, the offense is more disciplined, controlled. Maybe those aren't the words I'm looking for, but the offense, it's not airing it out all the time. They're very single-minded on this. They're running the ball a lot more. That offensive line has gotten bigger and tougher, and they're playing a lot more old-school football. Call it whatever you want. I call it old school. Josh Allen only threw the ball, 19 times last night, so he wasn't airing it out all over the field.
Didn't need to, yeah.
But the offensive line and the running game were able to control the game. So it's almost like they're countering what they were for the last handful of years, to where when they get to the playoffs, when it's cold outside and they get pushed around, it looked like they had decided to flip that on its head last night, and they just played like that old school football.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen is so talented that whether he runs it, the running back run it, if there's a guy open, he can throw it. So to me now, they've got more variations to this offense.
They kind of remind me of that hockey team that might not have a lot of explosive scores, but they dump the puck in, they hem you in, they make the right play, and all of a sudden you're down 2-0, and it feels like you're down 12-0.
Yeah, but no hope of getting off the canvas.
You're not going to get anything easy. Whereas before, yeah, they had Stephon Diggs, they had a legit scorer, but there were almost like holes in the game. Now, Carey, I know you're still skeptical, despite the fact that they're 2-0.
I'm still calling it fool's gold. No, I am.
Well, sometimes fool's gold looks pretty good.
It does look good, but you ain't going to get no money for it. You can try to sell it if you want to. They're going to say, hey, you
just got to find the right sucker.
There you go. I still don't. There you go, another one. I still don't believe in. I just don't believe in them yet. The Buffalo Bills, again, we talked about it. Josh Allen threw an interception last week, which is why the Arizona Cardinals were right there in that game to start that game off and still had an opportunity to come back and win that game. Miami looked terrible yesterday, and I think it's because offensive coordinators have an issue when they can't get the big play. They don't want to take the small, 5-yard hitches, the 12-yard, curl route, come back and the underneath digs, things of that nature. They want, when you're an explosive offense like the Miami Dolphins, you are accustomed to making big plays, and it is difficult for an offensive coordinator who has, wants to go 100 miles an hour. No, you got to go to speed limit, go 60. Boy, no, I want to go 100. I got to go deep. No, you can't. So you can't do it. And so it's difficult for them to find success. I think that's what happened early for the Dolphins yesterday. You had a pick six. You had 3 interceptions by Tua. One of them, again, the pick six was a terrible decision. Didn't have enough arm strength to get it out of bounds. That, to me, the Buffalo Bills won. They did a great job. They got the W. They got to Miami. They won the game. I'm still saying it's fool's gold. Keon Coleman had 0 catches. Marquez Valdez-Scantling had 0 catches.
Well, does that surprise you?
Well, he had 0. I don't know if he had any. I don't think he had
How
one
many
target.
hit him, though?
He had 1 target.
Did you see the one? Did you see the one overthrow?
No.
0 compete.
Oh, okay.
Nothing drives me more crazy than a wide receiver with no compete.
Understand this. That will come back and bite them in the butt at some point. That's who they are. That's what they have. They are going to eventually rely so much on Josh Allen, and he's going to turn the ball over and over, and it's going to be bad for him. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it.
You're never going to be on the Bills bandwagon this year.
I've been heartbroken since the 90s, Anthony.
What do you mean heartbroken? You're not a Bills fan.
I wanted the Bills to win one
he's
of
a fan of a lot of teams. I thought it was Steelers.
He loves the
Ravens.
I was a child.
We
didn't have a team here.
He loves the Bills.
We didn't have a team here. No, I was in the 90s, I was a 49ers fan.
Oh,
and I did. You knew that. You knew that.
Anthony. And now he wants to critique me for having 3 teams. He's got 7.
I was a child, Jamie.
What's changed?
Oh,
pull up for you.
We are up thanks to Marsh and BK, who took his own team behind the woodshed today. BK with some scathing comments, like he's Shadur Sanders. BK was Shadur Sanders today.
He
just
was.
throwing his own teammates under the bus. But thank you, Marshy. Nice job.
About you, Carey.
I heard.
I told you I'd bounce back.
And you did.
And we still have a bunch of other games left, so
do.
we'll see what happens. But it feels good to get that first one.
We're up 1. We were down last week.
We were.
But not today. Nice job there, Marsh. All right.
Thank you.
It's Fastline on 101 ESPN. The Cardinals are still playing baseball, which means we got the lineup game next on 101 ESPN. That sounder means it's time to play the lineup game for the Cardinals here on 101 ESPN. Cardinals in Toronto tonight to take on the Blue Jays with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. The Blue Jays, I haven't seen a starter listed for the old Toronto Blue Jays yet. I don't know if you guys have.
TBD?
It's a TBD situation. Yeah. Gaussman, though. I'm seeing Gaussman's name, Kevin Gaussman's name, more times than not. So, if it is him, he's a right-hander, boys.
All right.
Do we need to
go for it, Carey?
Show us Mason win?
I'm watching the Futures game, and this thing's all over Instagram. It's like, this guy threw a ball 100 across the time. That's awesome, but, like, how many throwing errors does he have?
Shut up!
All right, so last game it was what? Luke and Baker. Last game that we did the lineup for, I should say, because we didn't do the lineup game the other day for the day game yesterday.
I think Burley gets another shot at it here.
I'm with you.
You like Burley, huh?
I do like Burley a lot. He is ice cold. It's so cold. But I think it's Alec Burleson. Show us. Alec Burleson.
You know, kind of closed my eyes and swung at it and did what I wanted to do.
Burley to the rescue!
All right, Paul Goldschmidt here.
Yeah.
Show us Paul Goldschmidt.
Gold! Rich with gold! Gold!
Oh, it's got to be your guy, Anthony.
Show us.
No. He's a Gold Glove winner and perennial All-Star.
Oh, listen to Mr. Gold Glove over here.
Come on. Who was this last time?
Donovan. That we did the lineup for.
It's Donovan or Newt in my books, but I'd say I don't know.
Probably Donnie.
I was leaning Donnie too.
I was leaning Newt.
He's outvoted. Carey.
Show us Brendan Donovan.
Donnie.
Hey, this headband's pretty cool.
Nice job, CD.
Kind of make it suspenseful there.
Appreciate it. You did. Okay,
Six,
this
Walker or Newt?
This has been Newt.
Oh, it was
Okay.
Walker for one, but I would go with Newt.
Newt.
Hey, it's two lefties.
I think it's Walker, but I'm outvoted again.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, you do it this
It's
time.
my turn?
Yep.
Show us Lars Taylor Tatsui Nude Bar.
What a shame.
You decided to sell it, though. I appreciate the effort. Holding on to
go
the
with my
Newt
guy?
for a very long time.
Go for it. Yeah, thank you.
I don't know.
Show us Jordan Walker.
You're wrong.
Okay. Oh, this is the one that
Herrera?
Ollie's going to mess with us.
It's Herrera.
It's like Matt Carpenter.
Who's catching? It's probably Herrera.
It could be
Probably
Herrera.
Pajes.
I would say Herrera. I mean, we got who else is going to be at 6 right now, other than Herrera or the two guys we just named.
Go for it.
Show us Yvonne Herrera.
You are so wrong.
Dang it, Anthony.
Okay. Hang on.
Thomas Sajasi.
Oh.
Here?
I mean, we've guessed Newt. We've guessed.
What is he playing?
Herrera?
Second base?
Yeah, he'll be playing second base.
Yeah.
That means
He had a
Newt
great
wouldn't
game
be
in
in the-
second.
that would
There's
mean
no
Newt-
reason. Yeah, I think it is Sajasi.
Yeah.
I would say yes.
That means Newt probably
Show
not
us
playing.
Thomas Sajasi.
It's like Thomas the Tank Engine always
I'm
says.
sorry, guys. I swear.
You like baseball?
All right, nice work.
You guys missed the sounder.
Oh, sorry. Play it again.
Play it again, please.
This is just, this is for the listeners,
Of course.
That's
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah.
It's like Thomas the Tank Engine always says. You like baseball?
That's awesome.
Nice job, Marsh. All right, so
Is this Walk It Like It's
This
Hot?
is Walker.
yeah, this is Walker.
Go ahead.
Show us Jordan Walker.
Oh, wow. Oh, is it a Newt? A Newt? A Newt.
So Jordan not playing?
Show us Lars Taylor Tatsui Nude Bar.
What makes you think she's a... Oh, she turned me into a newt. A newt. Got better.
Okay, so right now our outfield is Donovan, Newt Bar, and then whoever it
And then
nine.
probably Sienna. This is Peter.
This is Peter Pages.
There you go.
Yep.
Show us Petey Pages, please.
And then Siani.
Go ahead.
Show us Michael Superbad Ciani.
Michael.
All right.
Michael.
You're not Michael Phelps. You're Michael Cera.
Couple of bad spots there in the middle, but otherwise, boys, I like the effort.
Not our fault, though.
No, we didn't rate the lineup. Yeah, Marsh, run that thing.
All right, leading off the shortstop, Mason Wynn. Batting second, the DH, Alec Burleson. Batting third, your first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt. Your cleanup hitter, third baseman, Nolan Arenado. Batting fifth in left field, Brendan Donovan. Batting sixth, second baseman, Thomas Sajasi. Batting seventh in right field, Lars Taylor Tatsui.
I did it better than I did. Damn it.
Batting eighth, catching, Pedro Pajes. And batting ninth in center field, Michael Ciani.
Stay fair! Go fair! I don't believe what I just saw!
Home run.
Did you go first last time, Marshy?
I think I did. Well, I haven't been here the past. Well, I wasn't here the last time we did the game. You can go first. Obviously, Anthony, you picked up a point the other day, so congratulations.
Thank you.
10 points now.
You're doing a hell of a job.
Now,
double digits.
We definitely overlooked this, but you tried to give yourself 3 extra points yesterday with Brendan Donovan. No one said anything, but I remember, and you are not getting those points.
All right. Get it.
What did he try to do? Hang on. What did he try to do?
Brendan Donovan hit a home run the day that we did not play the game, and he goes, oh, yeah, I picked Brendan Donovan, so there's
I picked up 3.
Yeah, I picked up 3.
That's what I said yesterday.
A scumbag.
And the wheels just kept going.
Nobody
No one
said
said anything.
I let it go. I even looked at the camera like I was a member of the office. I'm like,
That's a scumbag move. I mean, I respect it, but still.
You gotta respect.
I appreciate it. So how did you remember that, Marsh? Did you just remember me saying that, or did you go back and listen?
No, I remember you saying it in real time, and I just didn't say anything because I wanted to bring it up right now.
Gotcha.
All right.
So, Donovan, that's an extra 3 points for me. I'm on a roll.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going Luke and Baker off the bench.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't start.
Good pick.
Give me Thomas Sajasi.
He's hitting it well, man.
Is he a three-pointer?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say he's a three-pointer.
He's a three-pointer, yeah.
Even though he's got 20 dingers in AAA, but
Still.
I know.
He's a 3.
Is it on me? Give me Matt Carpenter off of the bench. That gets you guys.
All right, give me Paul Goldschmidt. I'll just keep chopping wood.
I don't think you got enough games left to chop.
There may
wood.
not be. There may not be.
We have 18 games left. How many games are
I
left?
got plenty of time. Not all 18 will have our home run derby in it, but still, I'll be just fine. What's trending is next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals take on the Blue Jays tonight with a 6:07 first pitch. Eric Fetty on the mound for the Redbirds. We just did the lineup game. If you missed that or if you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We talked about it in the first segment. The Bills defeat the Dolphins 31-10. We'll talk more NFL football throughout the remainder of the show. And City SC will take on Minnesota tomorrow with a start time of 7:30. We have What's Trending coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, I hate this. Major League Baseball teams will have advertising on their helmets during the postseason. They said today that they reached a deal for the postseason ads through 2027 with Strauss, a German apparel company that entered the United States market last year. The ads of 5 by 0.92 inches will be on each side of every helmet, featuring Strauss in capital letters in white alongside the company's ostrich logo, silhouetted by a red square with an alternate color for red helmets. Gentlemen, Strauss is going to be on the side of baseball helmets. This might be one of the worst ideas I have ever heard.
No, this is going to get us a new pitcher in the rotation, right? That's how it works?
We don't have to worry about that.
It won't be in the postseason.
It won't be in the postseason.
That's right. Cardinals won't get any of the money. Although they revenue share, right?
Yeah. I don't know if they postseason. Yeah, they do, but I don't know if they revenue share that.
What? Well, we got to change that because we need a pitcher.
I don't think that helps.
I don't think I'm with Carey. I don't think it works that way. No.
Did you call him Carey?
He did call me Carey.
No, I said I'm with Carey.
Oh, I thought you said Carey. I don't think that works
understand.
that way.
I agree with Carey. I don't think it works that way.
I understand that we're both handsome men.
Oh, there's no doubt.
I understand we both have salt and pepper beards.
Yeah.
But Anthony, we don't look very much alike apart from that.
Clearly. He has hair, I don't.
Yeah.
True.
Now, we both do have the big booties going.
Yeah.
The Clydesdale ass is what they call that. Yeah.
I wasn't
lunges.
I wasn't confused, but you could see how I would be.
Yeah. Otherwise,
very
different.
I get called Jamie all the time.
Yeah,
it's weird too. I got called Carey Davis the other day. It's weird.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm with Marsh on this. Come on, this is a joke.
So
what is this, NASCAR? You're going to put the sponsors on everything?
Are we? I mean, at first I was bothered. You know, the NBA teams, I think, do it during.
This is how they get you.
Yeah,
and you're a casualty of it, Carey.
You know, what difference does it make?
I don't want my sports teams to look like a European hockey team.
Why?
Yeah.
Don't the soccer teams do it? The football teams, they've been doing it for
but the
years.
football teams, they listen.
They pay their players.
Listen,
millions of dollars.
They do pay a lot of money.
I mean, everything's for sale. I agree. Yeah, it is almost.
Everything that I've been told from diehard soccer fans or football fans is that everything that they do is smart. So
financially smart.
Everything. Diehard. Just the movie.
No, diehard. No, diehard football fans.
Yeah, Christmas movie.
Christmas movie.
They can
not at all.
Yes.
They can do whatever they want to their kids.
Yeah.
Not a Christmas
what?
movie.
Diehard is.
Oh.
I thought you said kids.
I thought you said kids.
We got to get it back on. Okay, let's go on here.
Is this on? I mean, can you guys hear anything I'm saying?
I'll turn it off.
Yeah, please. That'd be nice.
Okay, I'll see you guys.
So this is where we're at, though, right? Like, and it won't be long till NFL teams are doing it too.
Oh, gosh.
And as much money as the NFL makes, as much as they're a cash cow, they're greedy. They're greedy. The owners are greedy. The league is greedy. They are. Listen, most rich people are greedy. That's why they're rich.
Next thing you're going to tell us is that the owners will stop paying for their stadiums. And they'll get our tax money going to the stadiums.
Yeah.
Wow, who's going to tell them?
I don't know. He thinks they pay for it themselves, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Look, here's what I don't like about it is with all of the major sponsorships from, solid American brands, why are we going with a German brand that nobody's going to have any freaking idea? Like, you can't tell me Anheuser-Busch or Home Depot. I don't even care. A massive American company. Chevy. Whatever. FanDuel. Whatever. DraftKings. Who cares? But what is it called? Saucer?
Strauss.
Saucer. I knew it was an S. But Strauss, that's your introduction? Strauss is like phase 3 of the helmet advertising. For me, first phase would be like Anheuser-Busch or Coca-Cola or Pepsi.
Jamie, they become phase 1 when they put up the money. So I'm sure.
Carey,
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not. No. I'm not saying you're right. But you are a businessman.
I know.
So we understand that if that company came with more money than company A, B, or C, which company was getting the spot?
Good old sauce there.
Strauss.
Saucy Strauss.
This is what they wanted.
It just doesn't
Everybody
make sense
remember
to
their
me
name.
that the introduction to it shouldn't be a company that nobody knows. I think that people are not going to like it anyways, but if it was a company that people knew, I think they'd be like, well, okay, it makes sense that's like Enterprise or whatever, big company. Strauss.
Is that a company? Is that a car company?
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
I think it is. Isn't it cars? Engines? Did I make that up?
I think you did.
I don't know that I did.
It might be Kobasas.
I don't know. Let's see. What is it?
I don't think so, Jamie.
No? Still a lot of those over there.
It's German apparel.
Oh, it's
a German apparel brand.
The German Lululemon.
Oh.
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
You should have kept going.
You have no idea.
You should not have stopped. And you shouldn't have stopped him. You should have let him go on.
It was already, the words were fumbling out of my mouth.
Anthony knows. I would have kept this up for months.
It's the German Lululemon, and Elon Musk is buying Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah.
Carey wasn't there for that.
I wasn't. I missed that one.
That was great.
We were at
Scott Air Force Base. And it's a little different setup. I don't have access to it. So when you see something pop up, you're like, oh. I said Elon Musk was buying Anheuser-Busch.
Oh, no.
I did.
How did that go?
Not great.
You were serious?
You read it off
I was dead serious.
But he goes, boys, we might have some breaking news here. Checking out on Twitter or X that Elon Musk is buying Anheuser-Busch.
Now, full disclosure, this was like right after Twitter/X made it so that anybody could have a blue check mark. So I'm like, hey, blue check mark, it's got to be real, right? Yeah.
It was not.
And I was like, oh my, I just said that.
Oops.
Okay.
Oopsie. Which, we don't have to discuss it. I was going to ask which was worse, Billy Bean or...
Oh, Billy Bean for sure.
I don't feel as bad about Billy Bean. At least there's an excuse.
His name was Billy Bean.
At least there's two guys.
Different spelling.
We did give our condolences to Billy Bean. It just happened to be
the wrong one.
Yeah.
But the one Billy Bean doesn't know that.
He doesn't, unless he has family in St. Louis.
Yeah, but even then, they're like, oh, that was sweet.
Is it sweet
and
if
then
you're
we
alive?
go back later and retract it. They're like, oh, they're the wrong guy. I thought it was fine,
It'd be worse if... Never mind. You got anything else there for what's trending?
Nah, I think we should probably move on.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I feel like anything I read now might be fake.
Is that the right? So now they're saying Levi Strauss. Levi's. Like Levi Strauss. The pants? That ain't the same?
They're
Just
messing.
Strauss.
Carey, they're messing with you.
It's on the text line.
I know. They're part of the
line
joke.
is gospel.
But
Levi Strauss.
Is Levi Strauss, is their logo a ostrich in a red square?
No.
There
it's
you go.
a Levi in a little red rectangle.
Maybe it's an
How do you know it's
off-brand.
not
I don't know.
You know what, you guys?
It's the German. It's the German Levi's.
There you go.
It's the German version of the Wranglers.
Yes.
Which team could the Blues push out of a playoff spot this upcoming season? We'll get serious about our show next on 101 ESPN. which team could the Blues push out of a playoff spot this upcoming season with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and Anthony Stalter? So, Jamie.
Yeah.
If you were looking at one team that made the playoffs last year from the Western Conference that the Blues can push out of a playoff spot this upcoming season, the number one team that jumps to your mind is who?
Los Angeles Kings.
Not a Wayne Gretzky fan, huh?
Well,
not a Luke Robitaille fan.
I left Edmonton in there.
Okay.
No, look, the Kings had a good season last year, 99 points overall, finished third in the Pacific Division. I almost went with Vegas, but I still think Vegas is still too deep to not make the playoffs. They had their bumps last year, and I had them going to the Stanley Cup final, and I firmly believe had they got past Dallas, they would have had a chance to get there again. I don't think anybody was beating Florida last year, but when I look at the Western Conference, that's the one team that kind of jumps off the page for me, because if you look at the Central Division, like the Stars are going to be good. The Jets, they're a wild card there. They had a real good season last year. That's a team that might fall a little bit. I definitely don't see them finishing second in the Central. Colorado's going to have a really good team. Nashville's going to be stacked.
I was about to ask you about Nashville.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about them. I don't like them right now. They're really good. They've got good balance, good coaching, good players. Yeah, I don't like them at all. Mostly because of all those things that they're good at.
You're going to be too good. I hate you.
Pretty much. I mean, UC Soros, he's a very well-established NHL goalie. Is he one of the best in the league?
No.
Yeah, but he's good. He's really good. Their defensive core is very solid. And then they added Stamkos, Marchessault, and one other guy. Who's the other guy they added, Marshy?
Oh, geez. It was pretty late, didn't they? It was really late.
Yeah, who the hell did they add? I'll find that out in a second.
Was he a forward or a...
Sure.
Did they get him? They got him from Pittsburgh, I thought.
Mark Jankowski.
No, that's
Steven Stamkos.
Yeah, that's
Philip Forsberg.
Yeah, no.
Gustav Nyquist.
No.
I already mentioned Marchessault. Michael McCarron, AJ's brother. Cole Smith. Colton Sessions.
No,
Tommy Novak.
Driving me crazy.
I went through the whole team.
Yeah. They got one. It was the trio of them signed.
Luke Shen.
No.
Alexander Carrier.
Cody Glass.
That's it.
Not on my little sheet
Not on your
here.
radar, Anthony.
But adding Marchessault and Stamkos, those are two legit 40-goal scorers that just got added to a team that was pretty good last year. So that power play could have O'Reilly, Forsberg, Marchessault, Stamkos, and Yossi. That's pretty disgusting.
Yeah. So no on the Nashville Predators being replaced by our St. Louis Blues for the playoffs.
No, I don't think so. I think Nashville might finish first in the Central Division, and thus, nobody's going to be able to be higher than them in the division. So when you go through, you've got those four teams. The Canucks are going to be good again. The Oilers are going to be good again. And the two wild cards for me are the Kings and the Vegas Golden Knights. What are the Vegas Golden Knights now? They had some stumbles last year. They don't have any bona fide superstars. Like Jack Eichel's a really good player, but it's not like he's like Nathan McKinnon or Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
They lost Marchessault, who's a huge part of that club. I was actually very surprised that they let him go. And Marchessault was on the Cam and Strick podcast, I think last week, and this dude opened up. He was not happy with Vegas. Oh yeah, he talked about the process and how much he felt like slighted and everything that he and other guys have done for that club to bring it to what it is. And then he just basically said, yeah, they don't care. They have no loyalty. Look at all the guys they've just gotten rid of to try and build another team. And
let me ask you guys this, and Carey, you can chime in here too. How much does that carry weight with incoming players? Maybe not from a draft standpoint, because when you're young, you're just excited to be there. But sometimes we talk about this from a fan's perspective, like, oh, that's gonna hurt free agents for next year. Guys talk. Is that true, or is that more narrative?
I think it's narrative. I think because if you are, if that's the only team that's going to pay you, you're signing there. And I think if it's the best fit for you, you don't always know what happened to the player or what happened in the scenario before you. I think and I say that because Pittsburgh is almost notorious for that. You know, you're either going to retire a Steeler or you're going to walk away and go sign somewhere else. That's essentially how it feels. I feel like they did it with Hines. They did it with Troy Polamalu. I think Ben, he was on his tail end of his career anyways, but that's kind of the expectation. Like, if you're not to the level we need, I don't know what Marchessault, I don't know how that all played out. If it was, he's only 33 years old. I'm sure he still has good hockey left in him and probably was frustrated that he wasn't able to stay there. But I don't know if it's so much that players that are coming in are like, oh, I got to be careful, unless there's a really close relationship with the player that got burned or felt like he got burned.
Yeah, and you got to remember, too, the contracts are guaranteed.
Yeah.
So if I'm a free agent and Vegas offers me a 4-year deal at, let's say $6 million a year, I'm guaranteed that money. I go into Vegas, whether they play me with the guy I want to play or not, I'm still making that money. It's different when you were part of a team, though, like Marchessault, who was there the very first year of the expansion and we'll call it the surprise team that got all the way to the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
And then you're there and they're building around you and with you and building this. They get to a Stanley Cup final, they win it, and now they just sort of like, we're good.
Yeah.
Now, the negotiation apparently was they were a year off. Apparently Vegas offered him 4 years.
So it's not like they slid him badly. It's not like
but he felt that way, though, because he felt like he's a big part of that locker room. He was an assistant captain.
His feelings matter.
Well,
but on the outside,
not to the point.
The business-wise, they don't matter.
Yeah, right.
I do think, though, like an incoming free agent looks at a team like Vegas and thinks this team is going to be competitive each and every single year, because
even if they have to get rid of me,
even if they have but you're not thinking that. You think you're the next dude that's going to go in there and be the guy that ultimately gets them out of the first round and gets them back to a Stanley Cup team.
Yeah, Marcia nailed. That's exactly why I asked if it was narrative, because I feel like it's narrative, but you guys are playing. Oh man, I punched my mic and my mic punched me right back.
Be careful. Trading blows over there.
Yeah, no kidding. So.
With the microphone punches.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to ask the former athletes. Like, you've been free agents before. If you heard, that spot's a disaster. Like, sometimes I watch, you'll be watching a game.
If it was the Titanic and they offered me a contract, I'm jumping on it.
Got it.
I'll figure out how to get the hell off.
I'll pack an extra life jacket.
I highly recommend going to Branson and taking the Titanic.
Who's the guy that was being a big, huge Asoli and like, God, instead of helping everybody else out, he just hopped right on that boat.
I have
that
a baby.
guy?
I have a child.
That was his boyfriend.
Was it?
The one she cheated on.
Yeah.
See, she's no good from the beginning. She cheated on her boyfriend, and then her new boyfriend let him drown to death. Probably to hide the evidence.
Probably.
Wow.
Didn't he grab a child that wasn't his? Like, I have a child.
Yeah.
He did.
I just got a 4x8 deal.
Yep.
I'm here until I'm not.
Wow. I literally don't know. I literally don't know where to go.
Guaranteed. It's guaranteed.
What? Oh,
guarantee you're gonna freeze your ass off.
No, that's not
hit the
guaranteed.
water.
Nobody else has offered me. I'm talking about me personally. Like, if I had a contract, it's done. Yeah. It's on the Titanic. That's fine. I'll figure it out.
I know how it's going to play out. I'll be prepared.
Now, if I was actually a player that was like several teams or like, then and it did happen once in my career, and I told the story several times.
Trading blows. UFC 306 this weekend.
Yeah.
It did happen the one time in my career when the Arizona Coyotes, Phoenix at the time, offered me a 3-year deal. And it was okay money, like good money. And my agent calls me and says, hey, I got 2 opportunities for you. I said, okay, let's hear them. Phoenix Coyotes, 3 years at blah, 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 money. And I'm like, okay, who else? He goes, well, the Red Wings. A 1-year deal at league minimum. I'm like, well, call up the Coyotes. Let's go, baby. He goes, hang on. He goes, let's talk. I'm like, okay. He goes, that team's a disaster. He goes, yeah, you're going to get your money, but a year and a half from now, they're going to be playing a bunch of young kids because they're tanking and they're doing all that, and then you're not going to play, and you're going to be upset. You're going to be ticked off. Your value will plummet because you're not even playing on one of the worst teams in the league, but it's not because you're not good. It's because they just don't want to go with the older guys.
Yeah.
Or You go with the Red Wings, who all they do is sign players that they believe can play for their team because their sole goal every year is to win a Stanley Cup. So I think you should sign with the Red Wings, as crazy as this is. Mm-hmm. I sat there. I'm like, all right, well, call Kenny Holland and tell him I'm in. And sure as, you know what, went off to that year, the Coyotes were dog terrible. Mm-hmm. We won the President's Trophy. I had a great year, one of my best years in the NHL. And the day after we got eliminated, Kenny Holland slammed a 2-year deal on the table in front of me and said, we'd like to have you back for 2 more years.
Nice.
So either way, I got my 3 years, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But with a far better organization, clearly.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. And you still had an opportunity to ruin the Coyotes down the road.
And I still circled back to get them later.
Yeah,
correct.
There you go. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsham, Anthony Stalter. How does Tua's injury change the landscape now in the AFC? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
I just really, really, really wish. I totally understand it, and it's not misplaced. I totally get how that's where people want to go to. I just wish that people would for a second hear what I'm saying, that bringing up his future is not in the best interest of him.
So that was Mike McDaniel, head coach of the Dolphins, last night after Tua Tagovailoa suffered yet another concussion in the Dolphins' 31-10 loss to the Bills. It's Fast Line on 101 ESPN 303. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. I get Mike McDaniel from his standpoint, Carey. It's like you're going to ask me about a player and his time frame and all that. We're talking about a concussion. We're not talking about a broken bone, and we're talking about a player that has suffered multiple concussions in the past. This has been a big problem, unfortunately, for Tua. So from Mike McDaniel's standpoint, it's like, yeah, why are we even talking about when he's going to come back? He doesn't know. Yeah. And I think Mike McDaniel was respectful of the fact that the media's got to do its job. But I mean, what's more to be said here? He has no idea when Tua is going to come back.
I thought it was extremely classy.
I do too.
For McDaniel to operate that way, you know, he's not saying that he doesn't want his player back. He's saying, let's let him get through this.
Right.
And let's not have every question we ask him, are you retiring? Are you retiring? Are you retiring? Because one thing that, Carey, you know, and I know very well, is when you do suffer a concussion, there are different waves of emotions that you go through. And I'm not talking about like, oh, you feel sad. No, your brain is messing with you. And it can, because of the part that the brain, whatever part is injured, it can actually make you feel super depressed too, to the point where you you may consider doing something stupid.
Right.
And that's why some of these guys, the hockey players, football players who suffer multiple concussions and the CTE that comes in, then we find them, unfortunately, maybe taking their own life. And I know that's dramatic right now, but let's let the emotions of the situation, let's let it simmer for a little bit here before we worry about asking him if he's going to retire.
I think what you're pointing out, Jamie, is that there is a lot more serious conversations that need to be had regarding Tua's health. And
100%.
Hey, when is he going to come back? What week?
Yeah.
But as we look at it from a football perspective, or Carey, did you have anything else to say?
I'm just going to say, again, dealing with concussions is a tough task. You don't know, like Jamie said, you don't know how long that player is going to take to be healed, how often the symptoms are going to reoccur if they do. And everybody's body is different. Like Tua has had this issue for a couple of times now, and you're more susceptible to having those. But I don't know how long it's going to take him to heal. And again, they're trying to explain, like, let's focus on the person, not the player. This young man is going through a lot. He's had a few of these issues already. I don't know if he's going to play again this year. I don't know if he's playing next week. I'm not worried about that. I just want to make sure he's healthy and he's okay. That's the most important thing.
Right.
And I think he did do a good job of getting that to the media.
All right, but as we look at this from a football perspective here, as we move forward, because we did talk almost the entire first segment about Tua's situation, and obviously it's scary. From a football standpoint, Skylar Thompson now takes over for the Dolphins, the former Kansas State quarterback, and it didn't look good last night. I realized that he had to come off the bench. He wasn't prepared for that game. Either way, it's still Skylar Thompson. I don't think they have a gem here in a backup. So this now, whether it's dramatic or not, it impacts the landscape in the AFC. So for me, or for the question I should say is, okay, who does this open up the door for now in that conference?
So I actually think the AFC East is going to get a visit from the ghost of Christmas past.
The Patriots?
Tom Brady. I've been messing with you guys all day, but as I laid in bed last night, having trouble falling asleep, I was like, it is not crazy to think the Dolphins owner wanted Brady so bad that they illegally talked to him on a boat, I think in like international waters on purpose. Right. And the only thing that stopped that whole thing was Brian Flores was like not cool on the idea.
Yeah.
Well, he's no longer there. And they no longer have a quarterback that distributes the ball. Tom Brady would be an excellent option. He keeps himself in shape. You see the guy, he looks better now than he did 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He's kind of a jerk that way. But he's a distributor, too. The ball's in his hands, out of his hands, in his hands, out of his hands. Like, he would just be feeding the ball to these guys.
Yeah.
No, there's no way he wouldn't catch onto that offense quickly. And, of course, they would build plays that surround what he currently already knows and things like that.
Yeah.
He might be their only chance because bringing in Ryan Tannehill or Joe Flacco type players, that's not doing it, man.
Yeah.
And if you waste a year of the window of this team, like, who knows what it looks like next year.
Yeah.
And I know Tom Brady's a stretch, but I guarantee that they're considering calling him.
I mean, honestly, Jamie, I really don't. I kind of don't get where you're coming from here because there's a quarterback right now in the NFC South that the Dolphins could acquire. I mean, hear me out, guys. Hear me out. You know, Tom Brady's an owner of the Raiders, so
that can change quickly.
I don't think that's going to be plausible. But when you look at Kirk Cousins' statistics, you realize that this guy is kind of a sleeping giant. And if you're the Dolphins, I think you get Atlanta on the phone and you acquire Kirky Cousins, and then the season doesn't have to be interrupted that much.
Question.
Yeah.
This Kirk Cousins you speak about, he's the starting quarterback right now. Why would the Atlanta Falcons trade away their starting quarterback?
Carey, that's a great question. They drafted Michael Penix knowing that all they had to do was showcase Kirky for a couple of weeks, and a team would probably suffer some sort of injury at the quarterback position, and they could flip Kirky Cousins and have Michael Penix, who can actually play, start. Yes,
they paid. Another question. They paid Kirk a lot of money. How much of that salary would the Falcons be willing to eat? Is it? Do they expect to just trade him and the Dolphins take over the entire salary? Because I mean, they got two on the books right now. So I'm intrigued about that.
Well, I understand what you're saying, Carey, but the bottom line is
Joe Boost Jockstrap says, "How bad do you have to be to think Kirk Cousins is your savior?"
Did you watch Desmond Ridder play last year? I mean, that one actually is kind of a layup. No, but going back to the Brady thing, you're absolutely right. He's going to be a Dolphin.
Honestly, I don't know if you're patronizing me.
I'm really not. Like this has Tom Brady written all over it. And you're right. You're drawing the right connections because of the Miami situation. No, I'm not patronizing you at all.
He wouldn't even want a whole bunch of money. Like whatever he'd sign for, be under the cap, keep him under the cap.
Yep.
And as far as his ownership,
doesn't he live down there too?
He has a beautiful place down there. But as far as the ownership in the Raiders, he probably already owns those shares under an LLC or another company. Like most people don't individually own it. They make their own, like Tom Brady Sports Group owns, you know what I mean? Because there's less risk that way and more rewards for tax purposes and other things. So most people don't personally own a part of a sports franchise.
Yeah.
Some of the billionaires, they don't care. You know, they got so much money, it doesn't matter. But therefore, like Tom Brady, the individual, doesn't own part of the Raiders, even though his company does. It would free him up to go play football again. It's a weird thought, but I was just thinking, like Tyreek and all these guys, they're not going to settle for some Sam Darnold, Joe Flacco, Tannehill type. Like, they're going to be, no, that ain't working. Like, we need somebody here.
So the only thing I push back on that is they got a team that is extremely fast, which means they get down the field extremely far. I don't know if Tom Brady got the juice left in the arm to actually stretch the field in the manner in which.
You're telling me you can't throw the ball as far as Tua?
I mean, I'm telling you, he's a 45-year-old man that hasn't played in 2 years now.
If you're telling me he can't throw a ball as far as Tua, I'm going to challenge you on that.
Not right now.
If you're telling me that it's... Who were we talking about the other day?
Anthony Richardson.
If you're you're right, sir. You're right. But I watched Tua. Tua doesn't air it out all that great either.
Well, he gets the ball out in time, so
I'm going to get it out in time.
If he can throw it as long as he talks on the broadcast, I think he'll be just fine.
Oh, dig for Tom Brady. I kind of like it. Yeah, nice job, Marsh.
And that's another reason why he'll probably come back.
Probably, yeah. He's like, I didn't fail. I just quit.
They needed me more on the field.
Yeah.
Now, somebody wrote in here, Jimmy G. Where's he at right now?
He's in L.A., L.A. Rams, which I could see that happening too.
Because apparently he played in an offense similar to this one.
He played
with the Niners. Yeah, it's the same. Yep.
So,
and he's like, he's basically Tom Brady.
Would you call Dallas for Trey Lance?
No,
it's not doing it, Anthony. It's just not.
Okay, I gave you the solution.
Oh, but we take this stuff seriously, and you go and say stuff like that. That's where we lose our credibility.
Jamie, I gave you the solution.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Next, he's going to say Russell Wilson. Just stop.
It's not a bad idea. Steelers got their guy. They got their running back at quarterback.
What? You guys.
Anthony, I like the dig.
We got the defense. That's all that matters.
Defense and a kicker. You're good to go. All right.
That's all you need.
All of a sudden, Carey likes kickers.
Hey, how long do you think it'll
18
take?
Points.
How long do you think it'll take Pittsburgh to score an offensive touchdown?
Second quarter. This week.
What game?
This week. They got Denver. They'll score in the second quarter.
All the shots you all take.
You want to know?
What do you
You know
care?
who will be in the playoffs?
You're a Bills
Steelers.
fan.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
You know why?
Hell no.
Because
In the
Tua's
90s.
injury opens up the door for teams like the Steelers.
There you go.
And the Chargers and those secondary teams in the AFC, the ones that you had question marks, but you could still kind of squint and see, like the Jaguars. Like, I could maybe kind of see it. Like, that is where the door flies open because of the Dolphins' injury situation with Tua.
Pittsburgh.
It all comes full circle. You know what I mean?
It'd be interesting to see because that Dolphins team is built to win, and they're not going to win anything unless they get a legitimate quarterback.
Yeah.
And they need a quarterback who can play in cold weather.
Oh, Tom. 20 years in cold weather.
Or
Kirk. Played his ball. Played his ball at Michigan State. Went to Washington, Minnesota. Marshall, you've been up there.
I have. And
That's a dome.
They play
But it's cold
inside.
getting into the stadium.
Damn right it is.
It's really cold getting into the stadium.
Just for fun, can you imagine the Dolphins sitting there and they go, okay, guys, I called you all in here today, the front office, the staff. We have a choice to make. Tom Brady or Kirk Cousins.
The owner just pauses. And if anybody's like, well, Kirk, you're gone.
Hey, fire him. Fire him. I told you, the first a-hole that says Kirk Cousins is fired.
He's got like a secretary in there. You, fire him.
He's not even worth my time.
It's a trap.
All right, it's a Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. How would you assess Sonny Gray's first year in St. Louis? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. Sports Fastline on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and Anthony Stalter. Sonny Gray pitched the other day, looked very good. How would you guys assess Sonny Gray in his first season with the Cardinals? Would you say he lived up to expectations? He met expectations? He did not live up to expectations?
Anthony, you use a word to describe his starts at times that I thought was very intriguing. I liked the word. Okay. I thought it was a really good descriptive word for his performances at times. Uneven.
Yeah.
Like, I think sometimes he's really, really good, and then sometimes he gives up 4 home runs in a game. You're like, wow.
Right.
And I think that, you know, I when Sonny Gray was signed, I believe, I was still on when he was talking about being signed. This was offseason last year. I was on the opening drive still with Randy and Brooke, and we were talking about Sonny Gray, and Randy would always say, well, he's not an ace. You know, he's not an ace. He'll be your ace, but he's not an ace.
Yeah. Which I agree with, but there's so few aces right now in Major League Baseball.
But if you needed that ace performer, and that's, you know, I think he's done a good job, but I don't think he's done the job that the expectations were for. I think the expectations may have been higher, and I think he's done a very solid job. But I think the expectations, which is not necessarily fair to him because you are who you are. But I think he's done a really solid job. I just don't know. Like, there are some games where he gets roughed up and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
But then he'll have 8 or 9 strikeouts in a 4 home run game. You're like, how is that even possible?
Okay, so since it's football season, do you guys ever watch a quarterback and you're like, man, he's pretty good. Man, he's pretty solid. But you know in the back of your head, he's probably not the guy that's going to lift your franchise.
Carey thinks that's Josh Allen.
100%.
I thought Anthony was going back to Kirk Cousins here.
So when I watch,
a lot of people think that about
when
Kirk.
I watch somebody like a Kirk Cousins, that's how I feel.
See?
This guy lives in your head. Free.
This is why we have to get him on a show.
I actually was not going to go that route, but it is a perfect example. No, but when you're watching, you're watching on a Sunday, right? You're like, man, it's not. He's pretty good. He's pretty young. But then like it's December, and you go, yeah, I figured that. I think that's what Sonny Gray is. I think Sonny Gray is a really good pitcher. I don't think that this is somebody that headlines your.
Is Sonny Gray Jared Goff?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
Which version of Jared Goff? Like Rams Jared Goff or the now what I would say improved Detroit Lions Jared Goff?
He's pretty good now.
But is he that improved? I think he's.
We got his team to an NFC championship.
He got the Rams to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and he got fired, got traded for. Like, yeah.
I think that same. I think they rediscovered the Jared Goff. I'm not picking on him. I think Jared Goff is good. I think that's an apt comparison that Marsh just made. Sonny Gray feels like Jared Goff. You watch him, you're like, yeah, pretty good. Then it's four.
I didn't say that. You did.
I said it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carey. I apologize.
He looks like me too, though, so don't worry about it.
Anthony's getting very confused today.
I did.
We may have to start turning the lights on in here for Anthony.
It's a little too dark. He can't tell who's who. Marsh sits there. I sit here. Jamie sits there.
Like I was saying, Ryder.
I haven't moved in 4 years.
Like I was saying, Ryder. I think that's a great comparison, Carey. I do. I think he's Jared Goff. I think he's a really good starting pitcher. Do I think this dude is going to headline your starting rotation into the postseason and win a pennant? No. But if he's a 2, yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, he's no, Big Ben, the guy that got us, me and my teammates, to the Super Bowl multiple times. We won the Super Bowl.
Tony's already confused enough.
I love it.
You guys told me to go home earlier. Why don't I just go ahead and do that?
This is unreal.
It's been fun, guys.
Thank God this is Friday. I don't think you could handle another day. So, Sonny Gray.
Back to Sonny.
Yeah. Look at that. He had a great year last year. Obviously, he got Cy Young votes. He finished second, I believe.
Yes.
Is it Cy Young?
I don't care.
Yeah, it was second.
I'm just stating facts. I didn't ask for your opinion. Because I don't care about your opinion right now.
I don't care.
You did what you had to do. You spent some money. You weren't going to go after Montgomery or Snell, so you went to the next tier, or what you believed to be the next tier, which is Sonny Gray. He's had some bumps in the road, but he's also pitched really well, too, at times. So he's not an ace, But I think that everybody knew that coming in. Is he a number one? Here he is. On a championship team, he's probably a number two.
I agree. I'm glad the Cardinals have him.
Yeah.
I do. I'm glad the Cardinals have him.
It's
because
great.
Without
Yesterday.
him, how does the starting rotation look? So
not great.
3.75 ERA, 3.21 FIP. The strikeout rate is actually higher. His strikeout rate is one of the highest of his career. It's been it's a high over his last 3 years now. Walk rate right around the same. Home run rate's high. Mm-hmm. The home run rate, if you're going to nitpick anything, it's the fact that for a while there he was throwing batting practice.
Also, the one beef that I have with him is he's supposed to be your ace. And your ace in the most important months of the season, when your season was on the line in July and August. In July, he had a 6.75 ERA and a 4.5 ERA in August.
So does that prove that he is not what you would describe as one of the unicorns in Major League Baseball, i.e. an ace?
I mean, like you would hope that you go into Cincinnati, a really important part of the season, you need to win games. And you get a performance out of Sonny Gray. Now, granted, we mentioned the strikeouts are high, but it's the home run ball that's really gotten to him. Even when they played the Phillies earlier in the summer, had a ton of strikeouts. But those are games that you need to win, that you expect to win out of your ace. And that's just like one of the gripes that I have with him. Other than that, he's been great. He's been fine.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, he's been fine.
And he hasn't been fast lane fine. He's actually literally been fine.
Yeah.
Like fast lane fine, you're like, it's not fine.
Right.
That's like the other guys.
Right. Exactly.
Like Kirk Cousins is fast lane fine.
No, he's just fast laned. Period.
Oh, come on.
Well, the Falcons are. I don't know about him. He's actually doing really well.
He's actually okay.
Yep. All right. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We've got, do we need a new Gauntlet contestant there, Marsh?
We do.
All right.
We do.
Text
We
in.
won yesterday.
There you go. Nice job, Carey.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, Carey.
Yep. Good job.
Carey Davis.
So we do need a new Gauntlet contestant for 4 o'clock. So if you want to text in now, 314-399-9646. That is our text line. Marsh had kind of a thought about the landscape and player development as it compares to like the WHL and the NCAA. So we'll get into that conversation next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take on the Blue Jays tonight. First pitch is at 6:07. Eric Fetty on the mound for the Redbirds. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The Bills defeated the Dolphins last night on Thursday Night Football, 31-10, the final score. This weekend, you can tune in. We'll have the South Carolina Gamecocks taking on LSU. Pregame starts at 10:30. Colorado State will take on Colorado with the pregame starting at 6. And then we'll have Monday Night Football for you as well. Sunday Night Football. Right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starting at 6:30. That is the Texans and the Bears. Also, City SC takes on Minnesota tomorrow, 7:30 start time. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Fast on 101 ESPN. So, Marsh, I know a story caught your attention that you wanted to get the thoughts of mainly Jamie, but Carey and I as well. So I'm going to let you kind of set things up here.
Yeah, for sure. Greg Wyshynski put out an article on ESPN.com, and this is about Braxton Whitehead, who plays for the Regina Pats in the Western Hockey League, and he has received a verbal commitment for the 2025-2026 season from Arizona State University. And for those that do not know, that's not really a thing. If you play major junior hockey, you cannot go then and play at the collegiate level because of the money that is involved. When you do play at the major junior level, you are making money. However, things are starting to change now because of the NIL situation within college sports. And so there is a suit being claimed, obviously because these rules are being violated. But at the end of the day, if this does end up going through, I think, and Greg points it out in his article, there would be a dramatic shift in player development. And Jamie, you've worked with plenty of players who've gone on to play at the collegiate level. You yourself played major junior hockey, so you know the differences between the two and the player development that goes in. But when you see something like that, like, what jumps off the page?
Wow, so much to kind of unpack. And just to go back to the beginning, like you said, Marshy, the original rule was put in place because major junior players are paid. When I say paid, like, they make $120 a week. Like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
But they're still being paid. And at the time, college players, at least on the books, were not being paid. And I know the brown bag and all that stuff and the cash. Okay, let's just pretend that everything's on the up and up. And so they didn't want what they deemed to be a paid athlete then going to amateur athletics. They said, nope, he's already been paid, almost like a professional, can't be a professional and go back to college.
Yeah.
So that's why the rule was set up initially. But the waters are murky, to say the least, right now. And this is actually the perfect time for this young man to challenge the whole system because of the NIL money. Players are being paid way more in college than they are in junior hockey. And I said this in the office, like, I had to make a choice. Coming up, it was either playing major junior or playing college hockey. My brother, who's 4 years older than me, he had a number of colleges that offered him scholarships. He ended up signing with a hockey school. It was called St. Lawrence University. They won the ECAC, which is their conference, and we lost in double overtime in the national championship. It was a hell of a team. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to play college hockey. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
The band is playing. The students are nuts. I'm like, yes, this is my environment.
Yeah.
Problem was, I was scouted at 15 years old to go play major junior, which was only a sophomore in high school. So by the book, I would have had to play another 2 years of, like, in high school before I could be going off to play Division I. Mm-hmm. So major junior teams were now talking to me about drafting me in the first round. And usually that means you're going to get drafted in the NHL like 2 years later. As soon as you turn 18, you're being drafted to the NHL. Where? We don't know, but you're going somewhere. And that's like fast track to the NHL. So for me, it wasn't ideal to wait to go to college because I wanted to get to the NHL faster. But now kids have made that mistake before, and then they don't get drafted to the NHL. They play 4 years of junior hockey. They're really good hockey players, but there's nowhere for them to go. Go play in the minor leagues somewhere and make, $300, $400 a week. And
or overseas.
Or overseas. But most guys don't get that chance right away because those guys, they don't have a resume yet. And so the teams overseas are like, well, we're going to take the guy who played in the NHL for 5 years over this guy who's never played anywhere. So kids were kind of stuck. And it got to a point where kids who chose to go play junior hockey were almost risking like everything to just follow the dream.
Yeah.
So now I think it would be awesome if this system could be broken, because can you imagine if a kid was good enough at a young age to go play major junior hockey? He's still in high school, can play at the highest level possible for that age bracket. And if it doesn't work out, if he doesn't end up being an NHL star or signing an NHL contract out of high school, out of his last year junior, now he could go play Division I NCAA hockey, just like every other kid who went through 4 years of high school and now has the opportunity to play collegiate hockey. So many kids are developing at a later age now, especially in the sport of hockey. That's why a lot of kids are going the college route, because they're pumping the brakes going, listen, I'm not ready to go play pro hockey or NHL hockey at 17, 18, 19 years old, even 20 for that matter. But kids are coming out of college, whether they're drafted or undrafted, and they're playing in the NHL because they're getting 3 or 4 more years of top-level hockey with unbelievable training, the facilities, the staff that they have, everything. So think about that. If you're developing a hockey player, just in general, how awesome would it be to be able to play 4 years of junior hockey and then go on to play 4 years of college hockey? That you're going to have the best player available at that point, because that player has played at the highest level that was allowed to them at that time, except the NHL, obviously. I just think that it's far gone, like it's gone too far, like for so long, that this is the time to kind of break the trend of it and let these kids go play college hockey, because they're not pros.
Right.
Yeah, I think the amateurism rule it should go by the wayside. I mean, the amateurism rule was put in place so people couldn't make money and also be on scholarship or in one sport. I think Dion was actually a walk-on at Florida State, excuse me, because he was paid by the Yankees, if I'm not mistaken.
He probably was. A signing bonus.
Signing bonus by the Yankees. So I believe he was a walk-on at Florida State for their football team. Like, they don't want you to be able to be paid in one sport and also be a collegiate student in the same sport. But as you said, Jamie, with how the NIL rules are now, essentially there is no more amateurism. Like, there are no more amateur sports in college. The NCAA, that's what they hung their hat on. Like, you can't be paid and play here, can't play in the NCAA. Well, now everybody, for the most part, is getting paid, right? And it's legal. Everybody is on salary, essentially. And so it's no longer amateurism. So I do agree. If this young man has the opportunity, was in what league, the WHL, and now wants to go play collegiate hockey, there should be nothing stopping him, because the players on Arizona State, whether it's football, basketball, I'm sure some hockey players, baseball, some of the women's sports are getting paid NIL money. How are you going to now say, well, you made money before you got here, so we can't pay you here either? Like, that's absolutely absurd.
So take it one step further. The OHL, WHL, Quebec Junior Hockey League up in Canada, all under the umbrella of the CHL, which is a Canadian hockey league. In the United States, they have the USHL, United States Hockey League. It is major junior hockey in the United States.
But it's technically not, right?
But it's technically not. But it is the highest level of junior hockey that you can play in the United States, where, like, your best players play in that league. Even the kids who went to the national program, the Matthew Tkachuk, Brady Tkachuk, they all played in the USHL. So why are the kids that play in the USHL allowed to go play Division I college hockey following their 4-year or 3-year career, whatever it is that they play, but the kids from Canada who play up there are not allowed to play Division I. It makes no sense at all because for several years now, people have been saying, let's have a North American Junior Championship where the Canadian Hockey League, their Memorial Cup team, plays the Clark Cup team, which is the USHL champion here, and the two champions play because the leagues are so similar.
Yeah.
And then you're blocking a certain percentage of kid because he makes $100 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Like Eli Drinkowitz is going and getting kids that are playing their senior year of high school. They're getting paid NIL money.
Right. Yeah.
So I just think it's time.
Common sense.
Yeah, common sense here. And I think this lawsuit, it's going to shake the tree. Because I think that NCAA, and that's going to look at them, it's not worth our time and money to fight this. Like, it really doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think this kid is going to be a pioneer for this, and good for him.
All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Speaking of, you just mentioned Eli Drinkowitz with Mizzou. A win for Mizzou this weekend means, well, a loss against Boston College could mean. We'll fill in the blanks next on 101 ESPN. This Boston College and Mizzou matchup took on kind of a different meaning once Boston College upset Florida State it was week 1, but it was the second game for Florida State. So this is kind of an interesting question that's posed to us today. A win for Mizzou this weekend means, fill in the blank, while a loss against Boston College could mean fill in the blank. So let's start off with the win.
Yep.
A win for Mizzou this weekend means
top 5 ranking.
A top 5 ranking, he says.
They're 6th right now. I think they beat a ranked team. It might catapult them into the top 5. I don't believe any of the other teams that are ahead of them are playing a ranked team this weekend.
They're not. Alabama's at Wisconsin. Let's see here. What else we got? I don't think anybody is being
Georgia's
challenged.
at Kentucky.
Ole Miss is at Wake Forest. Yeah, Georgia at Kentucky. No, you're right.
Texas is at UTSA.
I just don't see.
You don't think it's enough?
Not to replace a team ahead of them that wins.
But what if that team plays a crappy team? Like, shouldn't strength of schedule mean something?
Yeah, I just don't know if it means something right now.
Okay.
Just a thought.
You don't think my idea? It's fine. I thought we were allowed to just speak freely, but whatever.
Well, you spoke freely, but now I'm looking at the situation. I'm saying I don't think they'll replace.
What
one
was
of
that?
those
What you were going to
top 5
say?
teams. No,
Exactly.
A win for Mizzou this weekend means that they continue to build confidence. That's it. I don't think a win does anything for them from the ranking standpoint.
What's that?
I do think. Bless you.
You're right.
You got allergies, man.
That sounded like hot tour. That's what that sounded like.
Is that what Carey's doing over there?
Nah.
Oh, there it goes again.
You good?
No.
His headphones almost popped out of his ears that time.
My dang allergies are killing me.
He'll be all right.
Hey, listen, fellas, when I get going, I get going.
No, you're fine.
bad.
Just get after it, Carey.
Nah.
It's good for your abs.
Yeah, not great.
Okay.
All right. A win for Mizzou. A win for Mizzou against Boston College. I do think that look, this would be the biggest win thus far of the season. They're still a heavily ranked favorite at home. It's a game they should win. I think they will win. I don't know if a win does anything for them. I think a loss could mean, if we're going to fill in that blank, that they'd have to run the table. Because I don't think they would have enough, left in the tank to suffer 2 losses throughout the course of the year.
Mizzou?
Yeah. So
you're saying a loss?
Yes, a win for Mizzou this weekend allows them to build confidence, while a loss against Boston College could mean they have to run the table.
Yeah, I put down a loss could be catastrophic. It could be, because with the SEC as strong as it is, odds are Mizzou's not playing in the SEC championship, just based on the teams that are in the SEC.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then they might have trouble making that playoff, because those teams that are ranked right around them, like, this is the first year in a long time where I've looked and meant, wow, like, it's a deep field. Like, you look at the teams behind them: Tennessee, Penn State, Oregon, who has not played well, but they're still undefeated. Miami, USC, Utah, Oak State, like Oklahoma still sitting there. We're 15 deep with undefeated teams. So if Mizzou loses, they become basically the 16th team. They're right there with LSU then.
Yeah, they get thrown into the washer, basically. Yeah.
For me, a win just shows that they did what they were supposed to do. And I think it really, I don't know if you know the full value of the win until you see how the entire season plays out. Is Boston College a top 25 team, or did they play some teams that, they won against Florida State and then they beat Duquesne, I think, last week? Like, is it that BC is a really good football team, or are they just taking advantage of some teams that may not be that good? I think you won't know the full picture of this win or loss until later on in the year. Like, if you lose and Boston College becomes a top 10 team, that's a pretty good loss. Like, at the end of the day, you're like, well, we lost, but BC is the real deal. Now, if you lose and BC is, 2-8, and you're like, oh, well, 3-8, you're like, oh, this was a terrible loss. So I think it really just depends on how well this BC team does. And that goes either way. When you win, if you win, how well they do or how poorly they do. I don't think it's enough right now to put them again in the top 5 because you got those 5 teams in front of you that are already ranked ahead of you. Ole Miss, Alabama, Ohio State, Texas, and Georgia. They all should win this weekend. Now, one of them lose and you win, yeah, you'll pop up. But I think you'll stay right there when the rankings come out next week, and you're just continuing to build the case. It depends on how you win as well. You're continuing to build the case that you are a top 5 team, potentially a top 4 team, and hopefully a team that can win the SEC and put yourself in a spot where you're going to be a definitive college football playoff team.
You know what's wacky, guys? Is if Mizzou were to lose, just whatever, they'd probably end up being 8th place in the SEC. Because the other teams are, well, no, probably 7th. Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas. It's wild to think of the teams that are in that conference now.
Yeah.
I think a win for Mizzou, and this kind of plays along the same lines as what Carey said, but just a little bit different. I think it is a better spot for late in the season. I think it increases their strength of schedule. I do not that I want to push back on what you said, Carey, but I do think if Boston College loses this game and then they falter down the stretch, is that Mizzou's fault that they ended up becoming a bad team, or did they play a solid Bill O'Brien team in week 3, and then for whatever reason, what if Boston College's quarterback who likes to run the ball, what if he gets injured in week 5 and the season looks completely different?
To me, it's all about when you played them.
I agree.
Yeah, so they're ranked right now. That's when you played them. It doesn't matter what happens to Boston College moving forward. We can have the conversation about, well, the win doesn't look too bad. For example, Notre Dame played Texas A&M early, right? That was a ranked matchup. Well, Notre Dame just lost to Northern Illinois. I can look at it and say, well, Texas A&M, boy, that's
a bad loss.
That's rough. But when it comes to rankings and things like that, it does matter if you were ranked at the time.
And I do think, and this is the difference between a team like you just mentioned, Notre Dame. For me, Boston College, they were unranked heading into the season. They have played their way into being a top 25 team. I think that goes a long way compared to a team that was preseason top whatever, and just because we think they're going to be good, then, oh, yeah, that team is good. Boston College, for me, it's a little bit different because they earned their way into the top 25 with their 2 wins, mainly the big win against Florida State, which, again, that could, at the end of the day, not look like a great win.
Sure.
So it is kind of difficult. That's why I do push back, but I don't want to fully push back on what Carey's saying. I do think a loss, though, a loss means that Mizzou is Mizzouing. Mizzou is Mizzouing, and I could see them faltering down the stretch against some of the bigger teams because they didn't get the job done this week.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to Mizzou, so they've won 18 straight non-SEC home games. That matches the program's record. So they have taken care of business at home when they're facing a non-SEC opponent. I think beyond the rankings and what it means to the season and all that, this is a nice test for them. Thomas Castellanos is the quarterback at BC. You've got a former NFL coach in Bill O'Brien who had success at the NFL. It's not like he just coached in the NFL, was terrible, and wound up in college. Bill O'Brien has had some success. They've already gone on the road and won a big game. Castellanos is going to run around a lot. BC also is going to hold the football. So if Mizzou's defense, which has been outstanding, I haven't given up a point this year, if they can't get off the fields, now all of a sudden it's a game in the second half. So I think that this is a nice early season test against an opponent that wants to play keep away and eat up the clock on you. Those games tend to be tough because you never feel like you can put the pedal down the entire game. It's you're close, you're letting them hang around. So I think this is a nice test from that standpoint too. Otherwise, I think Mizzou's offense should be able to move the ball pretty good.
They should be. And again, if they win this game handily, it should just show who they are and what the future should look like. But I do think it does matter what BC does. If they play healthy the rest of the season and they stink, that just means Florida State stunk too. And from the looks of it, they look like they stink. Yeah, they weren't ranked in the top 25. They go and beat a Florida State team that people thought was going to be really good. Florida State doesn't look really good right now. I don't know what Boston College is. I don't think anybody knows. You kind of have an idea of what Mizzou is based off of what they did last year, coming into this year, bringing back so many starters and so many players. But Mizzou, bottom line, they need to win this week. There shouldn't be. This is a team, in my opinion, that is not on the level and the caliber of athletes that Mizzou has. It shouldn't be a game where you're coming out of it, questioning what Mizzou is going to do going forward.
All right, you have your shot to score a pair of tickets to Blues and Brews. It's next Friday, so a week from tonight. September 20th at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. Get fired up for the blues season at this outdoor street party featuring live music from country music star Matt Stell and St. Louis's own Charles Glenn Group, plus appearances by Braden Shen, Jake Neighbors, and Dylan Holloway. Philip Broberg will be there, Drew Bannister will be there, and Blues alumni. Text in win free tickets to Blues and Brews at 314-399-9646. What do you guys want to do for a trivia question? Jamie, get a Blues trivia question for us.
All right. Let's see here. Not like putting me on the spot.
Yeah.
Anthony talked about two players from the Kings earlier.
Oh, one was Wayne Gretzky. What was the other one?
Oh, yeah.
Nice job, Carey. I like that.
I love hockey. Anytime you need help, just holler at me.
Way to go, Carey. The hockey guy. Yeah. So I mentioned.
So you said Jamie, but you were actually talking to me.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. That's how that works.
Still getting confused.
Yeah. Like Carey said. I mentioned two Kings hockey players earlier. One was Wayne Gretzky. Who was the other?
It is Freaky
Text
Friday.
314-399-9646. Gauntlet is next on 101 ESPN.
categories, one challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome in Josh, who's our latest contestant for the Gauntlet. What's up, Josh?
Not a whole lot, guys. How we doing?
Everything's good. Yeah, everything's pretty good on here on a Friday. So you ready to rock?
My son and I listen every day, so he's going to help me out. We're ready.
All right, excellent. So, Josh, you have Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and me as an option. Who would you like to take on?
I'm going to take on you today.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, good luck to you, man.
Good luck.
All right, thanks.
All right, Anthony, get the heck out of here. All right, Josh, while Anthony is headed to the cone of silence, we're going to need you to tell Marshy to spin that wheel, please.
Marshy, spin that wheel.
All right. What do you want today, Josh?
Well, not hockey. Not as opposed to other people. I like the random.
Okay. Well, you're not getting random today.
Okay.
But you're not getting hockey either.
Oh, there we go. That's a win.
You're getting baseball, buddy.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Marshy's gathering the questions here. Doing a fine job of separating the questions. Carey Davis going to hand it off to me. While we're doing that, Josh, each question's worth 2 points if you answer it correctly. If you use the options and answer it correctly, it's worth 1 point. Of course, a wrong answer is 0 points. If we're tied after 4 questions, we will have a tiebreaker and we will get a winner here in the Gauntlet. Josh, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, buddy, here we go. Question 1. At 88 and 58, the Phillies currently own the best record in baseball, but they actually haven't won the NL East since 2011, when what pitcher recorded a team-high 32 saves?
I'll need the options.
All right, was it Ryan Madsen, Brad Lidge, or J.C. Romero?
Romero.
Final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
All right.
Question number 2. Happy birthday to 3-time Gold Glove winner Luis Castillo. With whom did Castillo spend 10 seasons of his 15-year Major League Baseball career?
Options, please.
Is it the Mets, the Twins, or the Marlins?
Marlins.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 3. Where did Cardinals starter Sonny Gray play college baseball?
I'll need the options on that one.
Options are Tennessee, Vanderbilt, or Mississippi State.
Vanderbilt.
Final answer? Perfect.
All right, last one here for you. Who is the youngest player to make an opening day roster this year?
Ooh. Struggle. I need some more options.
All right. Was it Jordan Walker, Jackson Churio, or Jackson Merrill?
Merrill.
Final?
Final.
All right, buddy. All right. Let's get Anthony back in here. How you feeling, Josh?
That was not good. No, not good.
All right, Anthony making his way back inside the studio here. He's plugging his ears in. Anthony, how you doing, bud?
Good. There you go.
Good? Yeah.
Yeah, Cone of Silence, solid. Latest Gridiron Guys
you listening to it
podcast. No, just going over some things with Mike Ryder, but that will post pretty soon here.
Okay. Pack a lunch, buddy.
Dookie.
You got baseball.
Good.
All right. Question 1.
I think.
At 88 and 58, the Phillies currently own the best record in baseball. But they actually haven't won the NL East since 2011, when what pitcher recorded a team-high 32 saves?
What year?
2011.
Ooh. I'll have the options, please.
All right. Was it Ryan Madsen, Brad Lidge,
No,
or J.C. Romero?
As soon as you said Ryan Madsen, that was the name that caught my attention. I don't think it was the other two. I'll go Ryan Madsen. Final answer, please.
Question number 2. Happy birthday to 3-time Gold Glove winner Luis Castillo. With whom did Castillo spend 10 seasons of his 15-year Major League Baseball career?
Luis Castillo?
Mm-hmm.
I believe he was a Marlin. He was a Marlin. Was he a Diamondback? I'm going to go Marlins. Final answer. He might have been a Diamondback, too, but the Marlins is what I remember it for. No, I'm Arizona Diamondback. Yeah.
Whoa! Question number
the
3.
baseball team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where did Cardinals starter Sonny Gray play college baseball?
He was a Vanderbilt Commodore. Final answer.
Final question. Who is the youngest player to make an opening day roster this year?
Who is really young in Major League Baseball? Jackson Holliday's young, but he didn't make an opening day roster, now did he? I'll just narrow it down here. Can I have the options, please?
Was it Jordan Walker,
No?
Jackson Churio,
Maybe?
or Jackson Merrill?
Ooh. It wasn't Walker. It was Churio or Merrill, and I'll go Jackson Merrill. Final answer.
Alrighty, let's go over this. Let's start right there. Question 4. Who is the youngest player to make an opening day roster this year? Josh, you said Jackson Merrill. Anthony, you also said Jackson Merrill. Answer is
Jackson Churio.
All right. 0-0 after 1. Let's go to question 2. Happy birthday to 3-time Gold Glove winner Luis Castillo. With whom did Castillo spend 10 seasons of his 15-year MLB career? Josh, you said the Marlins. Anthony, you also said the Marlins. Answer is...
It is the Marlins.
But Josh needed the options.
Ooh.
So
Can I hear those options real quick?
yeah, Mets, Twins, Marlins.
Okay. All right.
You better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, ready.
I just, Jamie, just wanted to see.
Yeah. Let's go with question 1. At 88-58, the Phillies currently own the best record in baseball. But they actually haven't won the NL East since 2011, when what pitcher recorded a team-high 32 saves? Josh, you said J.C. Romero. Anthony, you went with Ryan Madsen. Answer is...
It's the Mad Dog, Ryan Madsen.
It is. Yeah. And you both needed the options. So Anthony up 3-1, headed into the final question of the day. Where did Cardinal starter Sonny Gray play college baseball? Josh, you said Vanderbilt. Anthony, you also said Vanderbilt. Josh.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. Not today. The answer is Vanderbilt. Anthony gets 2 points. Josh gets 1. Anthony wins 5-2 today, Josh.
Ooh, that was rough. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for playing, man.
Josh.
Have a great weekend, buddy.
Good job, Josh.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good job, Anthony.
Thanks, guys.
Jackson Churio was 20 days younger, 22 days younger.
22 days younger than Jackson Merrill?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Good gravy.
There you go.
Thank you. All right.
You did great, Anthony.
I
Very
appreciate that. Thank you.
Well done.
Next Wednesday, don't forget, you can join us at Scott Air Force Base for service members, their families, anyone currently on base at Scott Air Force Base. We'll be out there broadcasting live. It is one of our favorites remotes of the entire year. We love it. You can join us 2 to 6, live broadcast. military appreciation at Scott Air Force Base on Wednesday, September 18th. If you're on base, hope that you stop by again, 2 to 6. It's all brought to you by Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, CarStar, and by Budweiser. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. There's kind of an interesting graphic related to the Blues where, and it's not just the Blues, the entire NHL, where they're ranking like the big three on each team and what tiers they fall into. So we'll tell you what tier the big three for the Blues fall into next on 101 ESPN. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, and Anthony Stalter. Guys, come on.
What?
It's not the 5 o'clock hour yet.
It's been 5 o'clock since 2:30.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
I was going to say since 2 o'clock. But,
I can't wait for 5 o'clock.
We actually had kind of a decent conversation to start the show.
5 o'clock is going to be awesome.
I can't wait for 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
We do have
a surprise.
Yeah, surprise. We'll keep it at that. All right. So on Twitter, or X, as the kids are calling it these days.
Does anybody just call it X?
I just call it Twitter.
Anymore?
I haven't changed. I've just said Twitter. That was probably the first time I said or X.
Actually, this one's on Instagram. Or IG, as the kids are saying.
You sent it to me.
I sent it to you
via Twitter, but it's actually from the old Instacart. That's right.
Because
that's something different.
Grant Francis fan club, who loves the St. Louis Blues, thought this was an interesting topic. I did too, and so we wanted to put it in there today because it is an interesting discussion.
I like these type of fun discussions about tears, right? Now, not tears as in
T-E-A-R, like what happened
crying.
when you got hit with the ball and your tear ducts.
Carey is referring to me in high school. The day before I actually got the true story. The day before I got my driver's license, my first driver's license. The picture, comebacker on the mound when I was on the mound, right in the face, right in the face. Got the tear ducts. They're crying. Teammates are like, "Why are you crying?" Blood everywhere. I'm like, "I'm not crying. I'm not crying."
Anthony, we're gonna have to move you to shortstop.
Yeah.
Did a real good job blocking that ball, though.
Thank you.
Hey, did you get the out?
I don't remember. That was probably my first concussion, let's be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, first of many. All right, anyways, tiering each team's big three, tiering each team's best forward, defenseman, and goalie. They did this for every NHL team, and then they put them in tiers. For example, the Bruins' best forward, defenseman, goalie, i.e. their big three. The Bruins are in the elite tier. Same thing with the Avs, the Stars, the Oilers, the Rangers, and the Vancouver Canucks.
How are the Panthers not in that?
I was going to ask you whether or not you had any issues with any of those teams, and we found it.
I have an issue with the Canucks being at the top. Like, who the hell is their goalie? Thatcher Demko? What has he ever done?
Not much.
No. And
ask his parents.
What? That's a good point. Although he is in the NHL, so.
Yeah.
Who's their big...
It's an unfair shot.
Who would be their big forward? JT
probably
Miller?
Quinn
Peterson? No,
what's his face?
He's a defenseman.
Oh, that's right.
So the Canucks for me...
JT Comfer?
No.
What's his name?
Yeah, no, that's a player.
He's on the Canucks.
He ain't a big...
I don't think he's on the Canucks.
Forward.
No.
I don't think he is.
Anymore?
I don't think he ever was.
Who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
JT Miller.
Oh, yeah, JT Miller.
That's what he said.
JT Confer used to play for the Avalanche, and then I believe he got traded.
That's who I was thinking of.
For a while.
Yeah.
Michigan alum actually took the call.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I don't... Good point.
He's on the Red Wings now.
Yeah, JT Miller, Ryan's brother. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, the Canucks for me should not be in that tier, and I think the Panthers should be.
All right.
You could take Barkov or Tkachuk as your top forward. And on defense, I mean, I guess maybe that's where their argument is. You got Aaron Ekblad. You used to have Brandon Montour, but then you got Bobrovsky. I mean, and they're the Stanley Cup champions. I think they deserve to be in the top tier, just saying.
I would say so. Well, they're not.
Yeah, I see that.
All right, the big three in the great tier. Great tier for each team's best forward, defenseman, goalie. The Carolina Hurricanes, the Florida Panthers, the Nashville Predators, the New Jersey Devils, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the New York Islanders, Jamie Rivers' former team.
Yeah, how are they there?
The Winnipeg Jets.
What the hell do they have?
And the Tampa Bay Lightning. So you got beef with the Islanders, your
and
former
the Jets,
team.
quite honestly. Who's the Jets' top forward?
And the Penguins, too. Like, they had some goaltender issues last year,
You're
if I'm
right.
not mistaken.
They did have goaltender issues.
We're taking,
Tristan Jarry.
Yeah, he was very jarring last year.
Yeah. Maybe because they're so top-heavy with, like, Crosby and Letang or Crosby and Carlson. Like, I don't know. The Penguins, the Islanders, and the Jets, to me, are very puzzling in that group.
All right, the meh group. Buffalo Buffaloes, otherwise known as the Sabres. The Detroit Red Wings, Jamie's former team. The Los Angeles Kings. the Minnesota Wilds, the Montreal Canadiens, Jamie's former team, the Seattle Kraken, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah.
A little surprised with the Knights with the meh. I guess because maybe their goaltending situation.
Yeah, and they've got good forwards, but they don't have that elite player.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird to me that the Canadians are in that discussion. The Kraken, that's weird to me. The Wild is weird to me. That's interesting.
Like they should be.
They should not be. If
right.
This is supposed
it's
to be.
It's not even meh.
No, they're not.
Bad.
They're under meh. I'm still waiting to hear about our St. Louis Blues. Where the hell do they fall?
Well, they fall into the shaky / young category with the Anaheim Ducks, the Ottawa Senators, Jamie's former team, the San Jose Sharks,
your favorite team,
the
St. Louis Blues, Jamie's former team, the Utah Hockey team, Jamie's former team-ish, and the Washington Capitals, shaky / young.
Yeah. So I'm wondering why. Because Robert Thomas, although he's not elite like some of the two categories we saw at the top, he's scratching the surface, though. He's definitely in the conversation. If you're putting the Islanders and the Jets in there.
Yeah.
So Robert Thomas is obviously our best forward. I think this is where the Blues probably suffer, is they don't have that elite defenseman. Colton Parayko is an elite defender, but Roman Josi is an elite defenseman. Erik Karlsson, the skills and that, he's up there. Cale Makar with the Avalanche. You've got Adam Fox with the Rangers. Each team kind of has that guy. But then you got Jordan Binnington in net that I would argue that he's probably as good. He's one of the top 5 goalies in the NHL for me.
People don't like him, though.
They don't.
They don't like him at all. This list makes me think that a lot of these people don't watch the Blues games.
They're not.
They're not watching Blues games. Now, we even had the discussion last year when the writers would continually pick on Jordan Binnington. It's are you even watching the games?
So where would you put him?
The Blues?
Yeah. And by the way, so DLW 1904 asked from the Snake Pit, where can you find this? This is from the Daily Face-Off. The Daily Face-Off.
Daily Face-Off, you find them on Twitter.
Yeah, or the Instacart.
They have a website, too, as well, or Instagram. I think the Blues right now, all things being fair, are probably in the meh group.
Okay.
I don't think they're up there with Predators, Hurricanes, Panthers, Penguins. I don't think they fall into that category, and they certainly aren't in the elite category. But I don't think they're in the shaky category. Even Ottawa, when I look at Ottawa, the only reason they're in that category, actually, they shouldn't even be in that category. Ottawa has Brady Tkachuk. They've got, what's his name, Shabbat on defense.
They have Shabbat.
And now
they have a ton of other dudes in the back end.
They got Linus Ullmark in between the pipes. Ottawa should be probably up near the great part. This list is...
So whoever created this was pure drunk.
Ham-sauced.
Okay. Just to finish this off, Gary, before you scratch the bad category, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Calgary Flames, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the Philadelphia Flyers.
That's all probably pretty accurate, yeah.
So the guy, he wasn't fully drunk. He started off with the bad.
Probably.
And then started to really drink.
There's... Throughout every tier except for the last one, I think that there are certain arguments you could make for a number of teams. But this is what they do. This is how they get clicks. This is how they get interest. And I don't hate it. It spurs a discussion, and quite honestly, if people are talking about the NHL and the sport of hockey because there's a debate whether a team is meh or good or elite, so be it. I disagree with most of this list, but that's fine.
I was going to ask you, you talked about Colton Parayko and him not being the defenseman. Is that because of the scoring? Is that why they don't give as much recognition, because he's not necessarily a scorer, but he is a very good defenseman? He'll do the defensive part, but not as good on the offensive side.
The scoring side for defensemen has become very sexy to writers, to NHL teams, to awards and all that stuff. If a guy's just a really elite defensive defenseman, they don't even notice.
They don't care.
They
Doesn't matter.
It's like a great offensive lineman, right?
Right.
So you notice it.
Yeah.
But the casual football fan is not picking up on the fact that the left tackle is absolutely murdering everybody out there, and the quarterback hasn't been touched in 3 days. They're not noticing that. But the team needs that guy to win. And so Colton Parayko is that type of player because he's not flashy and whatnot. He just a shutdown defenseman, does his job, plays against the best players every night.
Yeah.
But he doesn't run a power play. He doesn't score 20 goals. He's not like
he's not flashy.
Not flashy.
Yeah. And
So
if you're a spreadsheet warrior, he's not gonna pop.
You're right, 100%. And that's kind of why people just kind of gloss over that.
Right.
And that's what happens. You end up writing an article about Colton Parayko having one of the worst contracts in the NHL. And that's what happens when you don't watch the games.
That's right.
That's what happens when you don't know anything about hockey.
Jamie Rivers got to take you behind the woodshed.
One day I'm going to meet Dom, and I'm going to absolutely bury him verbally. I'm not going to touch the guy. He's got a job to do. He's probably got a family. He's probably got a friend. You know?
Wow.
What?
Whoa.
I didn't say he had no friends.
That got personal and very.
I didn't say he had no friends. That'd be worse.
He said he has
You said
maybe.
You said probably.
Maybe has
has a friend, which would indicate that maybe he does not have a friend.
We don't know, right? We don't know. It's not for me to
We don't
judge.
know him, so yeah, no, that's fair. All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We got our Sports Six Pack next. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service tax line. So you get a question, send it there. We'll answer it next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals take on the Blue Jays tonight. Eric Fetty on the mound for the Redbirds. First pitch is at 6:07. The Bills defeated the Dolphins last night, 31-10 on Thursday Night Football. And City SC will take on Minnesota tomorrow, 7:30 start time. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next. So if you have a question you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy. Together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
Time for the Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and Anthony Stalter. And here is Andrew Marsh with your questions via the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Marsh, go.
Question number one.
All right, we were just talking about the Blues and the Big Three and where they rank. Talking about tiers, and not Anthony's tears, but tier as in T-I-E-R. We got a question from the 314. In which tier do you guys think the Blues could be in 2 years from now?
So the same idea.
Same concept.
Same concept.
Okay.
The big forward, defenseman, goaltender, and what was it in 2 years, you said, Marsh?
2 years.
So here's where they're going to run into an obstacle in 2 years. They're still not going to have
the blue liner.
That blue liner. Like,
they could have the forward.
I think Robert Thomas will be there. I think Jordan Bennington will be there. I think what will hold them back from being in the elite/great category is that they're not going to have that head turner for a defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Lindstein could be that guy down the road. I don't know if he's that guy in 2 years. Like 4 years from now, could be. And then you're laughing, right? Because you got great young forwards, got an excellent goaltender, and you got a really great up-and-coming goaltender in Joel Hofer. So I would say 3 to 4 years from now, you'd see them up in the great category, but probably not before then.
I agree.
Question number two.
From the 314, have you ever watched a serious sports movie where the action scenes have such poor techniques that it's annoying?
Yeah. I hate when somebody clearly doesn't know how to throw a baseball
or a football.
Yeah. And they're like a pitcher in the movie.
Or skate.
Yeah. Like kind of just some of the fundamentals where you look at it and you're like, that's not a player.
Yeah.
You're not fooling me. That would be the thing that I think would bother me the most.
It's especially with football. When it's not realistic, when the player is not, they might be in the wrong stance. Like, I see it all the time, whether it's a commercial or movies. It's like, oh, that's not real. It doesn't look like it.
Why don't they just get real players?
So they do audition, they audition people. Like for the scenes where it's like the cutaway scenes where there's actual action going on, but then there are times where I guess if it's the actual actor, and you have to have his he can't.
But CD, if you had real players out there, they'd say, "Hey, no, man, that's not what it looks like."
Well, they do. They do have consultants.
So Miracle on Ice, that movie there, they had all real hockey players, all real hockey players. And except for some of the actors or whatever, but the players were the very first people consulted on the scenes. is this realistic?
Right.
Does this look real? Was this how it would happen? And the players are like, no, and the players were like literally drawing up things on the dry erase board of like, this is how it's got to look.
Yeah.
And then the producer or the director's like, okay, let's make it look like that.
Yeah.
And so that, and if you watch Miracle, like at no point are you watching it going, oh, that guy's terrible. You're like you're into it.
Right.
And if you look at like it one step further, like even the TV series right now, Shoresy. It's a kind of a comedy, whatever, but it's really fun little series on was it Hulu, I think?
Yes.
On Hulu. They have hired all former pro hockey players, along with an actor who can actually skate and play hockey. Now, he doesn't look like Mario Lemieux out there,
right,
but he can hold his own. But the rest of the cast is all either well-known guys who played in the minors and whatnot, or just a bunch of guys who played like university hockey and things like that, but they can actually play hockey. And the hockey scenes look normal.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't understand, like, why more movies with the money they spend on these things, or just bring in a player and have them look at it and go, that ain't it. Or your quarterback, if he throws like that, he's not playing in the schoolyard, let alone the NFL.
Yeah. Carey's right. Like they do have certain consultants. You'll see them in the same football movies. Like you'll see them. They'll be like an extra, a head coach or an assistant coach, and you'll see like, oh, that guy's in the because he's a consultant for the movie. I think they do a good job. I'm always impressed. Like Nelly, when you watch Nelly in the latest Longest Yard, like Nelly looks like he's a running back,
but he's a very good athlete.
Yeah. So I'm always impressed when an actual actor, or for Nelly's case, an actor / musician, looks like an athlete. He looks like a running back in that movie.
Honestly, I was pretty impressed with Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
as Paul Crewe, the quarterback.
He's a decent athlete too.
He is. He plays a lot of basketball, a lot of pickup basketball. So he does know, the functionality of how to move as an athlete. So
Well, and any given Sunday. Lawrence Taylor, he looked really good in the football scenes.
Absolutely, he did.
Jamie,
excellent actor.
Yep.
He actually played football.
No, he was an actor in the movie.
But he played football.
Yeah, but he was an actor. He looked really good.
He was
probably could have played.
Shark LeVay.
He was
in the movie.
Before that, in the 80s, he was like the most fiercest linebacker.
No, this was his only role as a football player.
That was Ken Norton.
He was. That was his son, Junior. His dad was the boxer. That was the 90s. But the linebacker LT used to have the earring, the L and the T.
Yeah, they had a running back, LaDainian Tomlinson.
No, not him. He played on the other coast.
Was a football player.
He was a Jet for a little while.
I have heard of Lawrence Taylor. He's the guy that is referenced in The Blind Side. He's in the first scene of that movie.
Nailed it.
He's in another movie.
No, guys.
That's awesome.
He broke Joe Theismann's leg and was screaming for them to come out.
Why did he do that? At a bar?
Yeah, it was at a game. He sacked him and broke his leg.
He did what to him?
Sacked him. It's what you do. Question 3, please.
Hey, by the way, Christian McCaffrey will miss his second straight game Sunday. 49ers are mulling an IR stint.
I'm surprised they didn't wait till game day.
Yeah. So
they do know
Jordan
on Friday.
Mason. Make sure that you.
They know this Friday.
They did know this Friday.
Well, I think they did. Jordan knew.
By the way,
I knew I was playing on Friday. Wait, I mean that I might play.
He's there to get ready on Friday.
What I said. Don't twist my words. That came out of my mouth.
I do think, Anthony, you'd like the show Shoresy.
Yeah.
I think your favorite character would probably either be Jim, or the other Jim.
The three Jims.
The three Jims. Which one of them is former Blue Jordan Nolan.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I know Mike Nolan. He used to coach in the NFL.
One of the other ones
for the 49ers
is John Nasty Moraski.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if he knows who that is.
No, I don't. I don't know.
Never heard him.
But you do know who JT Comfer is.
Right.
And that, you know what?
We'll take it.
JT Comfer.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Question number 3.
You know what I mean? How does that get lodged? How does JT Comfer get lodged in there?
From the 636, Jamie, rate your top 5 bourbons from 1 to 5.
Oh, wow. 1
that's
to 5.
That's a good question for The Riv man.
Yeah, so obviously everybody loves Pappy, right? So I'm gonna exclude that because that's like a unicorn. If you can get your hands on a bottle of Pappy, and so not everybody has access to that, so it's not fair to like rank it.
Yeah.
Because then some people might never ever even get a taste of that. So we're
Give
gonna
us your ranking of like for the common folk like us.
So Blanton's, I love Blanton's. Single barrel is unbelievable. That would be my number one. Nice and smooth. You don't
We're starting at 1 or are we starting at 5?
They said to start at 1.
I'm just asking. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm just doing
asking.
Now I forget where I'm at.
I mean, come on.
I'm not going to do it, so quit asking.
There you go.
Quit asking.
That's right, Herb. So Blanton's for me, and you don't mix it with anything. It's nice and smooth. If you're looking to mix your bourbon with something, don't use any of the bourbons I'm about to tell you right now. Go find a lower level store-bought, like, whatever. 2 would be Eagle Rare. Great bourbon right there. Tough to find, but not impossible. You can get your hands on that pretty much anywhere. 3 is good old Buffalo Trace. Great bourbon. They were tough to find for a while. A little more regular now. It's got a nice smooth taste to it, but a little burn at the end, like you're drinking a bourbon. Like it very much. I love Elijah Craig Small Batch. Is an excellent bourbon. It's only about $35 too, so it's not like super expensive. The next one here would be, so like I really like Michter's Straight Rye. So it's technically not a bourbon, but so we'll leave that off, I guess. But Michter's Straight Rye is excellent. Angel's Envy Finished Rye is excellent. Anthony, I know you've had some of that.
Yep.
Caribou Crossing is going to be my number 5. And the reason being is it's kind of Canada's version of Blanton's. You can get it down here. It comes in an awesome, cool little bottle. Like the Blanton's bottle is that little round bottle with the horse on top. You can collect the horses and they can spell out Blanton's. So with Caribou Crossing, they have a big caribou on the top of it. And it's a nice little bottle. It's got a little hologram on it. Really smooth bourbon. Love it. Again, don't mix any of these with anything else. Get a nice big cube of ice, pour it over that. Nice little sipper.
Sit at home and drink it.
Or
that's
wherever.
right.
Get a ride home if you need.
Of course, yeah.
Absolutely.
Be safe. Be careful out there.
Great spot to sample most of these too, by the way. The Whiskey House in Cottleville.
There you go.
Great little spot there. It's a little hidden gem.
I'm going to have to go out there.
Telling you, come on by.
What am I doing tomorrow? Maybe tomorrow after my son's game.
There you go.
7:30.
Just saying.
I found myself
I've got a locker there.
Do you?
Yeah.
Look, I'm just going to walk in and say, I'm with Jamie Rivers.
Yeah.
That'll get
Call
you,
him if you need
that'll
to.
get you arrested.
I went to the
Mr. Rivers, we've been looking for you.
the Cottleville wine cellar
Yes.
yesterday.
Did
After
you?
work, I did.
Nice.
Found
All right.
myself there.
Good
It was
old
a great
Gary
time.
Graffman.
I thought you were going to say Caribou Lou, which is also a drink
Yeah.
invented by Tech 9.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
You guys never heard of Caribou Lou?
Oh, I've heard of Tech 9.
I've heard of Tech 9 too. I've never
You ever heard
heard
that song?
Nope. Caribou Lou?
It's a great song. Yeah, Caribou Lou.
Carry on. Is that it?
Nope, that's Kansas, and they play tonight.
It's Creed.
Darn it! I wish I didn't say Kansas. We could have played the game.
We'd have been all day with that one.
Malibu.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Marsh knows.
I know what you're talking about.
Why did you leave me hanging like that?
He had to process. He was processing.
Jeez. Tech 9, Kansas City.
Yeah, for
Kansas
sure.
City's finest.
Kansas City.
All right. We'll continue our Sports Six Pack next.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
This is Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We continue our Sports Six Pack with question 4, please.
Question number 4.
This question comes from the 314. Which young player from the Cardinals and the Blues do you believe has star power potential but has not achieved that yet?
Okay, so which young Cardinal or Blue has star power potential but not realized it yet?
Cardinals would be Mason Wynn only because he just broke onto the scene, but he's got star power potential.
Absolutely does.
Outside of that for the Cardinals, there is none.
I mean, you could say Jordan Walker.
You could.
But you don't know yet.
But we're a lot
But
further
the question is
away.
who might?
Okay, so Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn.
You don't have to be disgusted with me.
Not in that order.
You can just be like disgusted.
Well, quite frankly, Jamie, I'm a little upset about your bourbon list there.
Oh, God. Join the club. Like, people who asked me about they said, Jamie, what are your top 5 bourbons? And I keep telling, yeah, you're wrong. It's this one. Try this. Yeah, your list sucks.
Jamie, I'm disappointed in you. You didn't choose the ones I like.
Yeah. Meanwhile, as I'm reading them, I'm like, yeah, Booker's is great. Solid. Like, I like a lot of, yeah, that's great. But you asked me for my top 5.
Right.
I gave you my top 5.
Yeah.
Bottom line. Mm-hmm. And that's it. If you have your top 5, text it in. Great.
Yeah.
And we'll make fun of it, just like you did mine.
No, they didn't make fun of it.
Well,
Hey, in fairness to the texter, they weren't making fun of it. They weren't laughing. They were incredibly disappointed with you.
We don't know that.
Because they couldn't even see you. They were so high up on their horse.
The Blanton's horse?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, it was my top 5 list. So Mason Wynn, Jordan Walker. Like, does Robert Thomas fit in this? Because I feel like he's already been an all-star. So.
I don't know if I think he's a really good player.
Cairo and Thomas
so
have
if we're
already
talking
been
about like a star, you know?
I didn't hear the question.
Star who's not a star yet on the Blues and the Cardinals. We said Mason Wynn and Jordan Walker.
Well,
in that order.
I was going to say something, but I'll save it.
What are you going to say?
Alec Burleson.
Oh, yeah, Marshy.
Oh, we're kicking that one again, huh? My goodness.
That was a whole hour.
Why do you not like Marshy?
A whole hour? That was like a whole week.
I love Marshy. I just like to give him
apparently
crap
it's a whole year.
sometimes.
Carey's still.
I said St. Louis star. Let's be
I was confused.
Let's be correct now.
All right.
St. Louis star.
St. Louis star. I don't know from the Blues.
Yeah.
Do they have to be on the team?
Dalibor Dvorsky.
That's what I was
but
gonna say.
I think it's so early to tell. Like,
I don't know. That guy lit it up in the
prospect camp.
Well, just last season.
Yeah,
the Sudbury Wolves.
He did. But he was playing against kids that are 18.
I don't care. He's going to be great.
I mean, I like your passion. Dalibor Dvorsky, for sure. Okay?
There you go.
Especially since Carey just made fun of Marshy. I'm going to back you, Marshy.
That was hilarious.
I think this is an interesting one from the 314. What about Joel Hofer whenever he steps in as the eventual starting netminder for the Blues?
Like star power?
Yeah, like I think of... Okay, now... Before you write this down, and Marsh said this at 4:55.
You guys get ready.
So, as we know, Andre Vasilevsky took over for a great
4:55
goaltender in Ben Bishop in Tampa Bay. Why can't Joel Hofer do something similar?
Yeah, you had the same success. Good question there, Marshy.
It would be great if he did have the same success.
Be nice. Now, here's where Joel Hofer will have star power. 1, he's an excellent goaltender already. 2, who knows what the ceiling is for him as a goaltender. But 3, he handles the puck as good, if not better, than any other goalie in the NHL. And he is going to score a goal one day. And when he scores a goal, that separates him from the herd because there's only a small group of goalies that have ever scored a goal. Joel Hofer scored one in the American Hockey League. So that, to me, is going to separate him as far as star power. Doesn't mean he has to be the best goalie. We're talking star power, marketability. You know, and Joel Hofer has a good little personality on him, too. Like, he's going to be more comfortable as he goes here. I like that one, Marshy. I will allow it.
Great.
Question number 5.
This one comes from the 636. Do you guys think between Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Justin Herbert, do any of them retire with a Super Bowl ring?
You said Lamar, Justin Herbert, and who? Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow and Josh Allen.
Oh, wow.
Oh, if I can, include that in one little, wager,
Wait.
I would say yes.
Lamar, Joe Burrow,
Josh Allen,
and and Herbert?
Justin Herbert.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, who's the first?
Lamar.
No, he's not.
Okay.
No, he's had his
won
chance.
one this year.
No, he's not.
Okay.
Lamar.
They give him the same crap offense as they ran.
Justin
before.
Herbert is not.
They're
Josh
all
Allen
in the
is
AFC,
not.
too.
I know, that's the,
So that's where I'm like, they're all going to kind of cannibalize each other a little bit.
Josh Allen.
He will have one?
He'll have the first.
I'm surprised you didn't say
group.
Justin Herbert.
I do like
loves
Justin
Justin.
You
Herbert.
like Justin
I love
Herbert?
Justin
You
Herbert.
like
Did you love,
I just think the Chargers are further away.
Did you love what they did this past weekend?
I thought they were fine.
They ran the ball.
They did.
That's what they're going to do.
Yes, J.K. Dobbins looked good. Really good. I do love Justin Herbert. Yes. I'll go with Josh Allen. Mainly to tick off CD.
That's okay. It's fine.
Question number 6.
A little surprised you didn't include Kirky, but that's okay.
Well, I didn't ask the question. Well, I did ask the question. I didn't type the question.
You relayed the question.
I'm just the messenger.
Yep.
From the 314, after the Tua injury, do you think the NFL will mandate guardian caps?
No.
Nope.
No.
They have to get that past the union. The union say, go fly a kite.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
again,
Why is that, though? Is it because it looks goofy?
Yes.
Well, I think players won't want to wear them. Not all. I know some players are wearing them, but I don't think
I
they're-
wouldn't wear one. I just. Oh, bless you. I thought you were sneezing.
No, I just coughed.
That's me sneezing. I don't think that you should be forced to wear one. And again, I don't think that it's hard to prevent concussions. It is a collision sport.
Yeah, the guardian cap's really not going to stop. If you get whumped, your brain is smacking
it's
around.
slide on, or it's sliding around in your skull. It's going to hit against the skull. So I don't know how much that's going to help.
All right, we have a very, very special segment coming up for you. You're going to want to tune in. That's next in the Fast Line on 101 ESPN.
It's a fast lane here on 101 ESPN. Time is 5:02 p.m. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers. The time is also 6:02 p.m. in Ottawa, Canada.
No, Jamie, why is that important?
We're going to head out to our celebrity line right now, and we are joined by the one and only Momma Rivers, better known as Mumsy.
Yes.
Mumsy, how are we doing today?
I'm fine. Great.
Yeah. What are you doing right now?
I'm talking to you.
Yeah. I thought maybe the Blue Jays pregame was going on up there.
No, I haven't really been following it very much. In fact, I was talking to a friend this afternoon, and she says, "Oh, I've given up." And I said, "Well, they're playing tonight. Who are they playing?" She says, "I don't know, and I don't know either."
You kind of sound like Cardinals fans right now. We're going through the same thing down here, Mumsy. The Cardinals are having an off year, just like your Blue Jays, and so it's been a tough one for sure. Now,
it's been interesting. Like some games, they seem to do very well, and that's not very often, though. So I don't know. They need to make some changes.
Yeah. Who's your favorite player on the Blue Jays, Mom?
I like Kirk.
You like Kirk? Okay.
Yeah.
You don't like Vladdy Guerrero?
Sometimes.
So
he makes me mad sometimes when the bases are loaded and he's up and he's third out. You know, he had a few home runs this year. It wasn't too bad, but no, I like little Kirk. I like to watch him run.
You don't move too fast, though, right, Momma Rivers?
Oh, but he can hit the ball though.
He can. Yep.
Momma Rivers, your breakdown sounds like the Cardinals. It sounds exact. Bases loaded, don't get anyone in. You know, got a few players that you like to watch, and it's been that way this season all year.
I know. So I take it are the Cardinals really out now, or do they still have a chance?
Well, Mom, let's put it this way. The fan base knows the Cardinals are out. But nobody's told the players yet, so they still think they have a chance.
Oh, no.
That's kind of what we're getting at is, we're out, Mumsy. No, if the Blue Jays are making big changes up there, do you think should the coach go, get a new player? Should it be president of baseball operations? Who do you think should be the first one to go?
Oh, my gosh.
You don't need a name. You just tell me what their job is. It's fine.
Well, maybe a change of coach would be good.
Yeah, probably. The coach is always at fault when the team loses, right?
Well, of course. Yeah. They've got a couple of newer players now. I don't know too much about them, but a couple of times I was watching, and they seem to be picking it up. So maybe some of the older players need to go.
Oh, we have the same problem down here, Mumsy. Yeah.
It's amazing.
So we're chatting with Momma Rivers right now. The Cardinals are in Toronto to take on her Blue Jays. So, Momma Rivers, I wanted to ask you, in the Blue Jays, like when the Blue Jays have been good recently, have they stolen some of the attention away from the Maple Leafs? Because like Carey, when he played with the Steelers, it was Steelers talk no matter what. Is it kind of like that in Toronto with the Leafs?
No, the Leafs are always mine.
Do they steal a lot of headlines though? When it comes to like the sports scene, are people always talking about the Leafs?
Not too much yet. No, not too much yet.
Now, Momma Rivers, I wanted to ask you no sports-related question. I wanted to ask you about this fine gentleman that sits next to me every single day. How was he as a young...
He's talking about Jamie.
I'm talking about Jamie, your son. How was he raising him and your other son, Sean? How were those two growing up together in the household? How many walls were ran into? How many items were broken because those two were roughhousing? How was it raising him as a young lad?
Oh, the two of them wrecked the walls, that's for sure. Even broke the window and put holes in my garage. that I didn't know about till I walked behind and saw all these holes in the garage.
Oh.
Yeah, they were pretty active, I'll tell you. And then, I got to tell you this, though. One time when I was really angry with them in the hallway and they're banging the walls and they only had those little hockey sticks, I took them away from them, opened the door, and I threw them out in the laneway.
She almost hit the paper girl with them.
Yeah, I almost hit the paper girl delivering my paper.
Oh, man.
Who got you be honest, who got you most frustrated, Jamie or Sean?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it was a Jamie.
I'd like to think that all I did is, it's like when players make coaches better, right? You challenge them. I'd like to think that I made you a better parent by being, challenging at times, Mumsy.
I would say that you pressed my nerves along.
He's still doing that today, so he's hasn't changed much. He's great to be around, though.
No, it's when you climb up a tree and be way up near the top, and I'm standing at the door and saying, "What do I do?" I don't want to yell at him because he may fall out of the tree, and he's quite happy. He doesn't care.
we had this, I guess it was a pine tree or whatever. I don't know the exact tree. It went up all the way up past to the roof of the house. And so I'd climb up the tree, and I always kept getting higher and higher. I always wanted to go from the tree to the roof. Mm-hmm. And I'd get up there, and then I was like, I don't think I can make it, And my mom would be like, he's going to fall out of that tree. I just know he's going to fall out of that tree. It never did happen, though.
That's awesome.
So, Mumsy,
quiet.
Just a quick question, because I know you watch birds all the time, and you have the bird feeder.
Yeah.
And I'm going to place a bet tonight based on your answer, okay? If a blue jay and a cardinal got into a fight, which bird do you think would win?
Ooh. Probably the blue jay, because they're vicious.
They are vicious.
They're a rather large, smaller bird, right?
Yes, but they're very noisy and loud and pushy. So I would say that the blue jay would be the one that would win.
Yeah. All right. I got $20 on the Blue Jays tonight now.
Oh, boy.
So, Mumsy, how do you sleep at night knowing that your Toronto Maple Leafs took our Craig Berube from us?
Oh, no.
Oh, I know. But I'm glad that's where he went, because I like him.
Yeah. He's going to wake those guys up.
I'm hoping he does. Yeah, I'm hoping he does really well, because I really like that coach.
We did too. We were
frustrated that he had to leave.
We did too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock when he was let go. I honestly couldn't believe it at first, but anyway, yeah. So now he's going to become a good Canadian up here.
He is.
Yeah, absolutely.
He played for the Maple Leafs a long time ago too. I remember that, and I think he's going to be good, Mumsy. He's going to make sure that those guys are held accountable up there. All those soft superstars that are on your team up there.
Ooh.
We'll see.
Do the Maple Leafs, as a fan, do the Maple Leafs really frustrate you the most?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're watching the Blue Jays.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, more so, right? Because hockey was my number one sport, and I just took on baseball the last few years. So, no. The hockey will frustrate me, and when the Blues lose, it frustrates me also.
That makes sense.
That's right, Mumsy. Yeah. You got it. Hey, Mom, I'm going to ask you to tell one quick story, okay? And it's one you've told before, but I don't know if these guys have heard it. And I'll set the stage for you, and then I'll let you finish it, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so you guys, growing up in Canada, we had a little outdoor rink in our backyard. Now, we would get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, put on the skates, and fire pucks around out there. And it made some noise. Well, one day, we were out there early, and one of the neighbors, the lady across the houses were like one driveway, two houses kind of share it,
Mm-hmm.
She poked her head out and had something to say to Mumsy about her boys. Do you remember that, Mom?
Wow.
Do you remember that?
Which lady was that?
It was that was Peggy. Remember her?
Oh, yeah, Peggy. Oh, I don't know what she said to me. She was very annoyed because you guys were out there so early in the morning, and she wasn't very happy. I don't know exactly what she said to me, but it didn't bother me.
Do you remember what you said back to her? Because I do.
Honestly, I don't.
I do. She said...
What did I say?
Well, she said, why don't you control your boys out here? They're making all that noise. And you said, why don't you go F yourself?
Yeah, did I say that?
Oh, you did? Stuck with me the rest of my life.
He's been living that whole theme the rest of his life.
Oh, my God. You sure I said that, eh?
Oh, you said it, and you had that fire in your eyes, because I'm like, I know that fire in her eyes. That's usually when she's trying to chase me around the house. I never forgot it, Mumsy.
Yeah. Yeah, you boys knew if I was really, really upset about something, that word might come out, and then you ran.
That's true. So my mom doesn't like cuss. She'll say a couple things here and there, but overall, especially when we were kids, just didn't cuss.
Yeah.
But then we would push the envelope, and that, or my dad would, or somebody would, and all of a sudden, when you heard the F-bomb, like it's like the old, like the record stop, like people, you stop in place. Oh boy, who's getting it now?
Yeah.
Because if she said the F word, you're like, someone is getting F'd up right now.
But Jamie, that didn't happen very often. I didn't really lose my temper that much.
No, I was a tremendous kid. That's why.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you were a tremendous kid. You could get under my skin easier though than Sean.
Oh, because you know what? Sean's an ass kisser. Okay, let's just make it up. He'd sit there. He's the perfect child. Good grades. Little side part in his hair. Like, yeah, mommy's little boy.
No. He was a little bit quieter than what we were. You were more adventurous. You were more adventurous out there. Yeah. I guess you have to have two different kids in this one family. It can't be the same.
Yeah, one dork and one cool one, right?
Stop.
I'm just kidding, Mumsy.
I hope Sean's listening to this.
So do I. Oh, Mumsy, hey, I brought up that one story about you telling the neighbor off because, you know what, it didn't matter. Nothing mattered in life, and you always loved us so much, and you didn't care. Even if we were doing the wrong thing, you had our backs, and you still do to this day. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's it. That's being a parent.
It is. And it's hard sometimes to do that, especially when you know your kids are probably doing something wrong. But either way, I appreciate it still to this day. I love you with all my heart. I miss you. And thank you so much for coming on here today and having some laughs with us.
Well, I love talking to you, and I want to just shout out to Carson. Happy birthday, dear granddaughter.
Yes.
I hope she has an awesome night.
I hope so, too. Yes, Carson turns 24 today. So.
Oh, happy birthday, Carson.
Happy birthday.
Yes. Okay, love all you guys.
Thank you.
Keep doing well on the program, and I listen every day.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Momma Rivers. Thank you for producing such an unbelievable human being in your son, Jamie. Sean, I mean.
Oh,
I love you,
Mumsy. You guys have a lot of fun, don't you?
Yeah, we do.
All right, go cheer on your Blue Jays,
Okay.
Mumsy. I love you.
I love you, too.
All right,
Bye
see
for now.
ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Somebody's got to stick up for Sean.
She did. Hear her
She did.
stop.
She said stop.
She did. Yeah.
When she said stop, I'm like,
Well, the funny thing is, the four of us were like,
all the jokes, stop.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She's incredible. She's incredible.
She's a sage. You have no idea.
We had an opportunity to meet her. She was in, was it in town this summer? Or last summer?
Last summer, she came up, and she came in the studio for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, she's great. She's awesome. So we appreciate it. Yeah, we thought it'd be fun. Actually, it was Marsh's idea. So the Cardinals are in Toronto to take on the Blue Jays, and Marsh sent us a text and said, "Hey, what if we get on Momma Rivers today.
Yeah, a little insider from above the border.
Yeah, and she basically laid it out there that the Blue Jays are the Cardinals.
No
right
question.
Now. I mean,
exactly.
Well, yeah, it is funny.
Apparently.
Yep.
Yep.
Get rid of the older guy. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about the Cardinals?
Replace the manager.
Have Lisa and Mumsy been talking?
But no, happy birthday to Carson.
Yeah.
24, you said?
24,
That's fantastic. All right, happy birthday, Carson. Jamie's real oldest.
Oldest daughter.
Yeah,
yes.
not the New England Patriots.
Alabama.
Yeah, yeah, Alabama. That's right. So we used to do the pandemic. So in the pandemic, Jamie, was it your youngest? Was it McKinnon that came up with it?
McKinnon started the rankings, power rankings of the house.
Every day, McKinnon would do a new power ranking, and she would include like the dogs and everything too, but of the entire house, right?
Oh, really?
And was Carson constantly number one?
Yeah, number one. Number one.
So Jamie would come in and he would say, "Hey, we've got a new ranking or whatever." But I started calling Carson Alabama because she was number one constantly. It was just a staple. Yeah.
What's funny, Carey, is the whole house got affected by this.
Did they?
Yeah, because everybody's like, don't want to piss off McKinnon. I'll drop in the rankings. It was unreal. She had it all figured out.
Hilarious. They started doing things with like Carson was like baking with her and stuff.
Oh, making her bed.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
That's number 3 today.
All right. So we have gotten a lot of text regarding fantasy football, and we know not everybody plays fantasy football, but we've gotten so many like questions and things like that, asking for lineup advice and what have you, that we said, all right, hey, we'll do it on Friday. So if you have any fantasy football questions, you can send in to us. You do so via the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Fantasy football advice next. Hey, now's the time to call Mosby Building Arts throughout the month of September. They've got their Go Smart N Classic tub to shower bathroom sale. They've got 3 ways to save on a luxurious new shower including, here's one option for you, 10% off bathroom projects, and that's all bathroom projects, or no payments for 12 months on your bathroom project, or payments as low as $200 a month. So 3 different ways for you to save when it comes to getting a new shower, maybe a complete new redesign by Mosby. I love working with Mosby because one of the things that I think is, it makes them the most respectable when it comes to building your project or completing your project is that everything's up front. They come in, they help you design the bathroom that you're looking for, they show you all the products, they take the proper measurements, and when they get started on your project, they ensure that from the start to the finish of your project, they're going to keep you up to date. They're not going to leave you without a bathroom for months on end. They work efficiently and they do it right the first time. And when it comes to working with bad companies or bad contractors or maybe even a big box store, if you've had any bad experiences, you know that contractors, they come in and out, they leave you without a kitchen for months. Maybe they start another project as they're working on your project. Not with Mosby Building Arts. You'll have your own design team. You'll have your own, Mosby electricians and plumbers. Whatever your project is, they'll have the team for you. So give them a call, 314-909-1800. You can always visit callmosby.com, but make sure that you take advantage of the tub to shower bathroom sale that they have going on throughout the month of September. It's Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. So this is always a segment that we've kind of been hesitant to do because we know that not everybody plays fantasy football. But we have gotten, like in sports six-pack questions, fantasy football questions, and we finally said, what the hell with it? We'll do it on a Friday. Well, as soon as I teased it, Marsh, I think we've got 487 questions. So we'll get through as many as we can. But if you have a fantasy football-related question for this week, 314-399-9646, Marsh, go.
All right, from the 314, should I start Ramondre Stevenson or Zay Flowers? Flex PPR.
So Ramondre Stevenson's playing Seattle, and Baltimore has got the Raiders. New England, it's all Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, I was going to say
he is the offense.
Yep.
I wasn't overly impressed with Seattle last week. They weren't tested against the run because Denver put the ball in the air 487 times. So I don't quite know if Seattle's run defense is great at this point. We know that Zay Flowers is going to be involved, but that Ravens, they're playing the Raiders. If they get up fairly big,
right.
Are they still throwing late?
Well, I think you'll see the Ravens actually try to feature Derrick Henry more, probably try to get Mark Andrews involved. He didn't have a huge game. Ramondre Stevenson had 25 carries last week, and like you said, he's the guy on that offense. So I would assume that they're going to run the football even more.
Their line look good, too.
Yeah, I think I would go Ramondre Stevenson just because I think he's going to get the bulk of the carries. He's going to be on the field a whole lot more. And I don't know, Zay Flowers, they got so many targets and so many people that really didn't get involved in the game last week. I think they're going to try to get Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews the ball this week.
From the 314, Brock Bowers or Isaiah Likely, half PPR.
Okay, so this kind of works against what you just said. I'll tell you what, the way that they utilized Isaiah Likely, I think he's interesting, but I think he's interesting when they're trailing. I think he's going to be the guy when they're trailing. So I actually would go with the rookie in Brock Bowers, who had himself a pretty good game last week.
It's all about the game script, really.
Exactly. So I think the Ravens being against Vegas this weekend, I think they're going to be ahead, and I don't know if Likely's going to see. Remember, a lot of his targets, almost all of them, came in the second half when he had the 9 catches. So against the Chiefs, I would go with Brock Bowers.
Yeah, Brock Bowers led the team in targets last week. I think, he did a really good job as a rookie, a guy that, and then you just said it, they're probably going to be down in that game. The Ravens probably going to be up, no need to throw the ball and put it in the air. I would probably go with Brock Bowers as well.
From a 618, is it too early to panic on Marvin Harrison Jr.? Is it worth trying to trade him away?
I wouldn't trade him.
I wouldn't either.
No. You got to sit. It's week 1. Carey mentioned in our Gridiron Guys podcast, maybe the squeaky wheel gets the oil this week.
I think he was missed on a lot of opportunities last week. Obviously missed on a wide open touchdown that would have sealed the game for the Arizona Cardinals last week. I think that they will target him. I know Dortch got a lot of targets last week for the Cardinals. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a guy that is targeted early and often this week with an opportunity to have a big game.
From the 314, this is a good one and a tough one. Who should I start? Brian Robinson, Travis Etienne, or J.K. Dobbins?
You got to go with Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne's going to get the volume. He's playing Cleveland. Cleveland's terrible on the road. I don't love the way that Doug Peterson utilizes, or lack thereof, of Travis Etienne sometimes. I actually think Etienne can get a bigger workload, but they like to mix in Tank Bigsby at times. But look, Etienne's going to get the goal line carries. He's also going to see some opportunities in the passing game. So I would go with Travis Etienne.
We differ there because I got J.K. Dobbins. Had 10 carries last week for 135 yards, and they played the Carolina Panthers. Sign me up. Give them the ball, and Jim Harbaugh is the head coach. They're going to run the football down the throat of the Carolina Panthers.
I just worry about the timeshare.
He didn't need a lot of carries last week.
I just worry about his 19 injuries.
Well, Anthony, let bygones be bygones.
Jamie, Travis Etienne, or J.K. Dobbins. You're going to have to.
J.K. Dobbins.
There you go. So go with J.K. Dobbins. We want to make sure that we actually give like a pick here.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, great.
You didn't answer anything.
Yeah.
From the 314, should I start Chris Godwin or Jerome Ford flex option this week?
Man,
I hate it.
I'd go with Chris Godwin.
I would too.
You're going to be likely going to be trailing in Detroit. Jerome Ford and the Browns, I think, are going to be trailing against Jacksonville. So, like the Browns, I don't trust anything about the Browns offense. I'd rather go with the guy in Godwin that got peppered by Baker Mayfield again last week in a win.
Yeah.
Again, they're going to be trailing likely in Detroit. So I'll go with Godwin.
I would go with Godwin as well. I think Jerome Ford should have a better game. Micah talked about it earlier on the Gridiron Guys. Both of their tackles for the Browns will be back, so they potentially should be able to run the ball a little bit better and protect the quarterback. But I don't trust it enough. I think Chris Godwin is going to be a better player this weekend.
Last one here from the 314. Should I start Joe Burrow or Aaron Rodgers?
Ooh.
Well, Rodgers is playing Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Who's Burrow playing? The Chiefs?
Yeah.
I think I'd start Rodgers.
Yeah.
They might be down. I don't know. That's a tough one.
That's tough.
That's a really.
I look at Aaron Rodgers. He did not win on Monday Night Football. He wants to prove to everybody that he can still play the game of football at an elite level. And this is a good tune-up game to kind of get back in the swing of things.
Yeah,
I think Aaron Rodgers he's going to air it out.
And I think he's got something to prove.
100%.
They're going to run up that score.
100%.
It doesn't matter what the deficit is. They're going to keep pounding away. They're going to make the Tennessee Titans beg for mercy. It's my thoughts. Where's Joe Burrow? That Chiefs defense looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, and I don't know if Burrow's healthy. I don't think he is. So yeah, you got to, as much as I hate to say it, you got to go.
Y'all going Aaron?
You got to go Aaron.
Really?
Yep. All right, there you go. Beat the Streak is next. So if you want to play Beat the Streak, just text in BTS and you'll have an opportunity to play alongside us. 314-399-9646. Beat the Streak is next. Still plenty of time to head out to Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. In fact, why don't you do so this weekend, because it is their fall into savings at Auto Center's Nissan promotion. They've got new Nissans. They've got pre-owned vehicles, 0% APR on select new Nissans. Talking about Pathfinders, Altimas, Rogues. Got the best finance rates and biggest discounts of 2024. Finance terms as long as 84 months at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum throughout the month of September. Plus, they're throwing in thousands in Nissan bonus cash and dealer discounts. Again, it's their lowest prices of the year. And with over 700 vehicles all in one location, you're going to find the perfect ride for you. First-time buyers, anybody working with any sort of credit issues, they've got deals for you too at Auto Center's Nissan. Just take a quick hop up I-55 to Auto Center's Nissan. You can buy a car fast, fair, have a fun experience. And as always, the offers include 30-day new car return promise. They've got the complimentary lifetime warranty on new Nissans and eligible used vehicles, complimentary one-year maintenance on new Nissan purchases. It's all available at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. Check them out online at autocentersnissan.com.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take on the Blue Jays tonight with Eric Fetty on the mound. First pitch is at 6:07. We also have the Blues taking on the Blackhawks at the Prospects Tournament. Puck drop is at 7. Of course, you can listen to that right here on 101 ESPN. So stay tuned for that. And if you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and our full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have Beat the Streak and Biggest Question of the Day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hit baseballs. All of my successes depend on me.
You ready to hit?
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. We have AJ on the line to play Beat the Streak. What's up, AJ?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Everything's going great. Happy Friday to you, man.
Yes, sir. You too as well.
All right, appreciate you. So, Marsh, what do we got for the latest streaks?
Man, we all did terrible.
Terrible. Okay.
Everybody. Except for Anthony.
Yeah.
So, Anthony, your streak is, I believe, at 3, and we are all back to 0.
Oh, no.
What?
Sorry, guys.
How'd that happen?
Not great.
Carey, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. You have not recorded, or at least the player that you have picked has not recorded a hit in 6 straight games.
Really?
This is my fault. The pick I had that did get a hit, I gave it to Matt.
Oh, yeah,
Was it Matt?
that's right. Yeah.
You did give it to Matt.
Yeah.
He had Friedel.
Gave it to him.
I gave it to him.
Yeah.
He got a hit.
Wow.
But then he did not get a hit the next time.
Yeah, because he picked his own guy.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten my own hit in a while.
Carey, today. Sometimes it's just you got to focus on you.
Yeah.
Okay? You have to be better.
You know what?
Don't worry about all the outside noise.
I agree. Or the people.
I'm going to go Brendan Donovan.
That's what I was thinking. It's a good pick.
Thank
Anthony.
you. Thanks, Gary.
What has he done?
A lot.
He has.
All right,
really good.
I think we've done a nice job of giving the listener an opportunity once we got goose eggs all the way around. So, AJ, what's your selection?
Ooh, I'm going to take Mason Wynn today.
Mason Wynn is off the board. Jamie, go.
You know what? I'm going to be a prisoner of the moment. Thomas Sajasi.
Whoa.
Thomas Sajasi. CD, go.
Give me Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Vladdy.
Oh, makes Mumsy
as long as the bases aren't loaded. By the way, when she was describing that, it was like PTSD from being a Cardinals fan at the same time.
Right. You're like, wait a second, which team are you talking about? Yeah. Marsh.
All year.
Give me Loper Fido. I don't know. That sounds like a funny name. So I think he'll get a base hit tonight.
Oh, Loper Fido was in the UC Kikuchi deal. Fun fact.
Fido.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Heck of a return.
AJ, good luck to you, man.
All right, thank you, guys. You as well.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
Have a
thank
good
you.
weekend. All right, so AJ took Mason Wynn. I took Brendan Donovan. Marshy took Fido there.
Fido.
Loper Fido.
Carey took Vladdy. And Jamie took Thomas Sajasi.
Yes.
All right, we got biggest question of the day?
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, so we had the question earlier in the show. How would you assess Sonny Gray's first year in St. Louis? But now let's look at the other guys that Mozeliak brought in. You look at Kyle Gibson, Lance Lynn. It's his second stint here in St. Louis. Do you ultimately feel like John Mozeliak got what he wanted out of all of these pitchers that he brought in?
No. I don't think. I think you got.
Yes.
I think you got what you needed out of Kyle Gibson. Mm-hmm. I do. Was Gibby going to have some peaks and valleys? Yeah, but overall, he's been pretty steady. He's pitched deep into games. He's wore it a few times when he hasn't been good early on. He's still hung in there for 6 or 7 innings. He's been instrumental with the development of Andre Palante in particular. So I think you got what you wanted out of Kyle Gibson. I don't think you got what you needed or wanted out of Lance Lynn. He was supposed to be an innings eater too, and I don't know how many times he even made it past the 5th inning, even on a good night. So I don't think he fulfilled what you wanted there. And Sonny Gray obviously did not meet the expectations, but that doesn't mean he hasn't pitched well for the Cardinals. So did you get everything you wanted out of these 3 signings? No, probably not.
See, I might disagree. I mean, when you signed them, what were you expecting out of them? I think.
What were they expecting? Gold.
No, they couldn't have. I don't. Yeah, I mean, the signings that they brought in, I think they got exactly what they thought. They signed Sonny Gray. They signed Gibson. They signed Lance Lynn. Let's not forget about Matt Carpenter and Brandon Crawford. Like, they brought those guys in. They got exactly what they expected to get from them.
Out of those guys?
Out of all of them.
I don't know. I think they expected more out of Lynn. I think so.
I mean, he led the league in home runs last year. He didn't do it this year.
No, but I think they expected what we saw the other night.
Better, right?
He missed.
Anthony,
Most
they
of the
don't
second
ask how many. They just ask how. He didn't lead the league in home runs given up. That's an upgrade.
I mean, he's technically right.
It's better than it was last year.
The fact that you had to sit him out for a month, don't worry about it.
That's now, Jamie. Doesn't matter. You know.
I just stated the facts.
It's better. I honestly think they got exactly what they thought they were going to get. And they didn't get what they thought they were going to get from Nolan Arenado, from Paul Goldschmidt, from Jordan Walker, from Nolan Gorman, from Lars Nootbaar, from, I mean, who else could we name?
You're right.
Dylan Carlson, Tommy Edman.
Oh, boy.
Can I keep going? Like, those players, they didn't get what they thought they were going to get.
Could you say that about everybody except for Helsley, Wynn?
Yeah, Burley.
Donovan, Burley.
Donnie and Burley. Everybody
Contreras. He'd been injured.
He was injured.
But
so
he's
he
injured.
came-
But he still, when he wasn't injured, he
was injured.
But he provided what he was supposed to while he was healthy.
But
Some of these guys were healthy and didn't provide. Anthony, some of them didn't do it when they were healthy.
I think so I think they got exactly what they thought they were going to get.
If you can do
from
that
those
with-
players
on one hand, that's the Cardinal season, right?
No question.
Like, out of all these guys, who met expectations or exceeding them?
right.
Helsley, Wynn, Burleson, Donovan.
Stop.
Kittredge.
Okay.
I think Kittredge. Even Romero, you could put him in there. Like, did you really expect Romero to be as good as he was?
He was good early.
He was good early.
But listen, if your expectations were based off of what he's done in the past, Romero exceeded expectations.
Okay, we'll throw him in there. I guess we're a charity.
We're giving
today.
it away. We're giving it away, huh?
You're like,
I was ready this time. I was ready this time.
I'm glad because I was not expecting that. I wasn't ready.
I was like, oh, I got right to the button that time.
Yeah. All right. We have Bet the Board. We have 3 stars of the day, and we have criticisms and compliments next on 101 ESPN.
That was on us. You want to explain what you just said?
I said Tyreek Hill did not catch a long pass.
He got busted, did he?
Well, no, I said that's on us because I said, oh, that's a layup.
Yes.
And then Marcy said, oh, yeah,
that's a layup. That's great. Yeah. All of you.
And I was like,
that's the smartest bet ever.
I was like, that bet will hit for sure.
It's no problem. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Tua's injury is on you guys.
All right.
It's on you guys. No, it is.
That's serious.
Yeah. All right.
Not our fault.
If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. It's been a tough month for Jamie and I and Bet the Board, but Marsh and CD are competing like a bunch of Arizona Diamondbacks. So, Marsh, go ahead. What's the latest standings?
All right, Carey is in the lead now. I've dropped 3 in a row. Carey has 6 points. I have 5. Ooh. Anthony, you have 3. Jamie, you have 2.
Okay.
It hurts.
Now,
it hurts.
It Jalen hurts.
Last month, and somebody put together an 8-leg parlay. And
it was so
my
good.
Golly.
My nearly 5-leg parlay had to hit just to beat it.
I'm still bothered by that. Give me Juan Soto, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Minus 140.
Refresh your screen. Refresh your screen.
I know it.
Marsh, what do you got?
Give me Micah Parsons over 0.75 sacks recorded. So 1 sack or 2 half sacks.
Okay.
Wouldn't that
Micah
make a 4-1?
Parsons. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this thing in the NFL, you can get half a sack, though.
Yeah.
You just happen to get there at the same time.
Lance Armstrong?
Yeah. The funny thing is, I just answered you. Yeah. Okay. Give me.
Oh, man.
They call that the. Never mind. Houston Texans minus 6.5. I think they're going to take the Chicago Bears behind the woodshed on Sunday night. I think the Bears.
Why is that?
Are going to be just roughed up. So give me the Texans minus 6.5 on Sunday night. Jamie.
Yeah, I'm going Padres play the Giants. Dylan Cease on the bump for the Padres. Taking the Padres on the money line, minus 115.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Carey, a little surprised you didn't take Illinois tomorrow against my Chips.
I think they're at minus 3,000 right now.
Stay away from the betting.
On the money line.
Are they really?
Can't do it.
Yeah, I got you.
Yep.
I got you. All right. Marsh, what do you got for?
They are going to win.
Are they going to cover?
I don't know. Man, it's just a win's a win. We don't worry about the gambling part of it. The covering part. I don't know what the spread is.
19. Probably not.
Have you seen us play defense?
Fire up, Chips.
Have you seen us play defense? We're leading the country in turnovers. It's good when you're on defense, not good when you're on offense.
No. Well said. True. All right, Marsh, what do you got for criticisms and compliments?
From the 208 Momma Rivers, ... best guest of all time.
Yes. She was awesome.
She was awesome.
Listen, in full disclosure, when she said stop to Jamie, we all stopped. Stop. Oh, you okay? Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye. Yep. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Got real quiet in
Nope.
Sorry.
She's a lovely woman.
Cheers.
This next one comes from FedEx Brian. Guys, I do not know how to say this, but I'm going to as eloquently as possible. Anthony, the day that your kids were on was awesome. I would absolutely love to get hammered with your mom, Jamie.
I think you said that perfectly.
My mom does this thing that's hilarious is at whatever point in the day, she'll kind of saunter into the kitchen or whatever, and she'll do a little shoulder check. Then she'll turn around with a bottle of wine or whatever. She'll be like, bar's open.
That's awesome.
When she was here for like a month, Ashley and I would like wait and we'd watch. I go, watch. She'd turn, I was like, bar's open. And I was like, oh, Mom said bar's open. Bar's open, honey.
There we go.
Here we
Everybody
go.
Up.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the first time you had an adult beverage with your parents?
I don't remember the first time.
My dad was in the room, but I don't think he knew I drank it.
No, you were
Gotcha.
Just hammered down my grandpa's beer. Just
What you drinking over there? Apple juice.
My grandpa used to give us little sips of beer straight from Ireland, from Belfast, and he'd be like, here, have some beer. And then I remember the one time he's like, here, they like left me. And I was like, all right. My dad was like 10 feet away on the couch. I was like, all right. I was like, oh, I'm a little lightheaded after that.
What were you, 3?
Like 7.5.
Yeah.
No, probably like 10 or 11, somewhere in there. Full disclosure here.
It's awesome.
All right, let's get to our 3 stars of the day. 3rd star of the day goes to Jamie, the young buck, Carey, the hockey guy, and Andrew Marsh, the Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, nice job. Nice job there.
Because Anthony doesn't know who's who.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
It took you a while.
Did that? I was still like, what?
You confused one guy one time.
Or all 3.
Or all 3.
2nd star of the day goes to an absolute legend on the ice. So good that Anthony knew who he was. That is JT Comfort.
Yes. JT Comfort.
Oh, Cop Daddy.
Yeah.
Buddy.
How in the hell? I mean, really.
I was like, what?
How in the hell?
And to no surprise, our number 1 star of the day goes out to Momma Rivers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Hey, we have the Blues Blackhawks. I think we have like a prospect showcase camperoo or something.
It's a prospect tournament going on at Centene Community Ice Center. Got the Blackhawks, the Blues, I believe the Minnesota Wild.
Nice. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So Blues instant replay show from 6 to 7, and then Blues Blackhawks puck drop at 7 o'clock. So we'll broadcast from Centene. Should be a fun night.
Curbs and Joey are on the broadcast.
Beautiful. We also have South Carolina, LSU, Colorado State, Colorado. If you remember that one last year, that got fun. Blues and Wild, puck drop at 3 o'clock on Sunday. Those other college games that I mentioned are, of course, tomorrow. Texans and Bears, Sunday Night Football. So if you're out driving around late Sunday night, we got you covered. A little NFL action, Texans and the Bears. All right. Hey, guys, everybody have a good weekend.
Yes.
Listeners, thank you so much for chiming in throughout the week and listening. We do appreciate you. Everybody have a great weekend. For Andrew Marsh, for Super Bowl champion Carey Davis, for Jamie Rivers of the New York Islanders, I'm Anthony Stalter. I know you are.
Still struggling.